what's going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Mikey Raider coming to you live. Finally, after a couple of weeks of whatever the heck I was dealing with, what I was going through, which is always something. But that's no secret. We are Raider Nation. We know what the hell is going on, and it's either drama, turmoil, adversity, division, or bull. SHI. You know what I'm saying. Thank you for tuning in to today's week 2 training camp update. My thoughts, my observations, my opinions, my nonsense about our Raiders. We will have a few technical glitches. The show may slow down because my computer's been acting up whenever I watch video on the stream. But hopefully it'll regurgitate itself back to something that's not out of sync and that we could all watch and enjoy. Just letting you all know, please remember, this will probably be an hour and a half to 2 hour show, as I like to talk a lot. So do me a favor, get your likes in now. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member on this channel to support me. Buy some tacos. Have some Raider fun because football season is going on and I'm excited. I'm finally through all of this BS. I'm finally final fantasy. Fatality. I'm finally finding some enjoyment just because football's back. I'm trying to find it with our Raiders. But Lord knows that's a tough story. And the Raiders' positivity is hidden in the clouds. And I'm trying to find it. You know, when you got to look past demons like Josh McDaniels and, you know, Dave Ziegler, and you got to look past all the clowns that is Mark Davis and all the ridiculous stuff that they're doing, it's hard to see the positivity through those clouds. And some of you Raider fans are able to find that positivity better than I am. But a lot of us veteranos know the truth. And we're salty, we're pissed off, and we can't get excited for anything except 2 boobies and a little bit of pink taco down below. That's what we get excited for. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of this channel. Support your boy to get some pink tacos for exclusive content that is going to be coming up. We're going to be watching games live. Maybe not all of them, but some of them for members only. We're also going to have post-game review shows, early access to members only. We're going to have some merch in the future. We're going to have some good merch, retro merch. But more importantly, please consider becoming a member to support me and to help me find the positive. And it pays my bills and it enables me to go live like I am right now. For the 13 people that are online, I'm sure you're chiming in the comment section. Consider super chat during the show. Ask me some questions. Leave your comments because I may not see each and every one of them. But I will be answering some questions at the end of these discussions, and I will definitely be answering whatever super chats later in the episode. But for the first, I will interact with you guys as much as I can, but you guys know I like to talk and give my opinions and thoughts like that, and then I will interact with you guys as best as possible. You don't have to pay me money, but if you'd like to, I'd appreciate it. If you guys want to treat me like you do with Mitchell Renz, where he drinks beer in a boot, let's do it. Pay me to drink a boot of coffee or decaffeinated coffee. That's right. Your boy barely woke up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what I do. I'm living that vampire lifestyle, that Raider Nation vampire lifestyle. That's why they also call me Midnight Raider. Midnight Raider. You guys know who Midnight Raider is. Some of y'all don't know. But Midnight Raider is a Raider fan who says whatever the heck he wants. He doesn't care who he offends people. And he says whatever's on his mind, whether it be politically incorrect, whether it be nonsense, or he cusses out races, religions, creeds, or the alphabet people. He says what's on his mind. And it's hard to get Midnight Raider to come out because YouTube censors Midnight Raider. But I'm living that Midnight Raider lifestyle sometimes. But I'm on the positive tip right now, hence why you're getting the energetic Mikey Raider. The energetic, the let's go with the flow in Vegas Stadium, Mikey Raider. So hit that like, that subscribe, consider becoming a member, supporting your boy for exclusive content in the future, in the days to come, and let's have a fun football season. What does fun mean for the Raiders? Let's be honest. What does fun mean for the Raiders? It means every year we go on an emotional roller coaster. Every damn year. A lot of us have heart attacks because we have cholesterol issues. We have heart issues. We got blood issues. Every year for the Raiders is an emotional roller coaster. So, this is now the beginning of that emotional roller coaster. We always start the season with positivity. Yeah, Raiders went to the playoffs, baby. We got Devontae Adams. We got Josh McDaniels. We're going to do good this year. We're all positive, man. Don't talk shit about the Raiders. Don't you dare talk crap about the Raiders, baby. How dare you? Ain't a real Raider. You ain't a real Raider talking madness, negativity about the Raiders. How dare you while I'm positive? How dare you do that on X Twitter or Twitter X or Twitter? You ain't a real Raider. Positive, baby. It's a new season. Raider Nation, get up. Let's go. Football is here. Then the season starts, and the emotional roller coaster starts again. Blah, 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 blah. Up and down. Derek Carr's going to win us the game. He throws an interception. Oh, Josh McDaniels got a 14-point lead, and the game plan changed. Oh, they need to run Jacobs more. He's tearing the game up. Oh, it's a cold weather game. It's snowing. We can run the ball down their throats. We got a 10-point lead. Oh, let's stop running the ball with Jacobs and put it in Derek Carr's hands, who struggles in the snow. Heart attack, emotional roller coaster, blah, 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 blah. It's bullshit. Then the season ends. Derek Carr, this, that, whatever. Everything. All the news, the media. Oh, how F the Raiders, F this, F Mikey Raider. How dare he's negative, he's positive. Derek Carr was the problem, blah, blah, blah. Josh Jacobs, they better pay him. Oh, Josh Jacobs, he's just another running back. Blah. Division, divide, negativity. Blah, 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 blah. Emotions. High, triggered, pissed off, happy, excited, sad, mad, glad. Why? Who? How? When? Okay. I don't know. Disturbed, perturbed, scared. I don't know. What's going on? That is Raider Nation for you. So if you want to be a part of this fucking roller coaster, congratulations. If you don't want to be a part of it anymore, due to whatever your reasons are, no problem. I understand. Go root for another team. Go do what you got to do. I feel you. I understand it. This and that. I will never say you were never once a Raider, because once a Raider, always a Raider. I don't care. I don't live by the idiot philosophy of the little kids nowadays, and you got to defend the shield. You got to defend the shield that's hurting us. The shield is stabbing us, literally. Every day, the shield is stabbing us. People die for the shield. They take jabs for the shield, and they die just to watch a Raider game. Then we get sold crap. We get lied to. We get discombobulated with everything that's going on. Then the people say, doesn't matter. You got to defend it. You got to defend the shield. Yeah! Yeah. You're a damn stooge. But look, the Raiders are my team. I don't care how you fan, like Murph says. They're always my team. And I'm tired of these emotional roller coasters. I know we're going to have another one, and I'm preparing myself for another one. So if you guys want to be a part of this journey of my emotional outbursts, my emotional roller coasters, and everything else that I present to you with my fandom and how I fan, no hatred here, only love, but I will get angry and I will disagree with you. But if you want to be a part of that journey this year for me, like I said, please tune into this channel, hit that like, share my videos, help get the word out that Mikey Raider's back. And he's doing his best to make fun, creative content and trying to enjoy ourselves during this football season of emotional roller coaster niche that is about to happen to us. And Raider Paul, fact, Westside Media is online. He said, facts, Mikey. Raider Paul said, got to be positive, Mikey. Jimmy G's a winner. Yes, he is a proven winner. I will not doubt that. We can go into hearsay or that say or this stage or that ways or ups and downs. We can go on that Willy Wonka elevator any day we want. He did have a better coach, a better defense, and some other players around him to amp up his ability. But the same thing could be said about Derek Carr. We're not going to do the comparisons now, although let's be honest, all year, no matter what Jimmy G does, what Derek Carr does, we're all going to compare him on a week-to-week basis. We just had major comparisons to Derek Carr 2 days ago. It is so polarizing, and I don't hate either of them. I do love Derek Carr. I'm rooting on Derek Carr. I personally think Derek Carr is a better all-around quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Albeit Jimmy Garoppolo is a proven game manager and a proven winner with the teams he has played with before. That's not the case for Derek Carr. But I am rooting on Carr. I'm going to enjoy watching that storyline and all that. And I'm going to be rooting on Jimmy G. We're going to talk about Jimmy G in a little bit. Some turmoil that's going on in camp that I see. Many of you don't see it, but I see things that are different. Again, I'm on a different tip. You can call it negative. You can call it hatred. You can call it destructive. But because I'm a conspiracy theorist, a truther, I look at different things than what the media tells me and what they show me. And I've been hurt so much and lied to in my entire life by everybody, family, girlfriends, this, that, friends, you name it, business people, that I always take their quotes or whatever they tell me at face value, but I find the lies and the sarcasm, and I find out what's going to happen in the future, and I remember everything they tell me, and then I can place it to an aspect in the future, and then I can predict that aspect will come true, and it normally does. I am a good predictor of people's emotions, the future, and the way they treat people. Hence why I don't hang out with certain people, and I dislike other certain Raider video makers and this and that. And again, it's just they're not good for me. But we're going to go over some of that stuff that's going on in training camp that not a lot of people see. So let's get back to people that are online that I want to say hello to. Raider Paul, Westside Media. Frankie, my boy Frankie. We got fantasy football coming up. Hey, Raider Nation, if you're inclined, we might have a few spots in my fantasy football league this year. So if you're interested, let me know on social media or on Twitter in a DM or on an email. I think my email is somewhere here. Or let me know in the forms below, and I'll get in contact with you some other way. But if you're interested in playing in a fantasy football league this year with some other Raider fans like Frankie Moscato, let me know. And I'll make a video about that maybe in a week or two once I get some more information as the season is about to come to head. But what's up, Frankie? Raider Paul, yes, but Cancer Carr is gone. That's cool that you think he's cancer, brother. That's cool. Again, no hatred here, brother. Just please stop trying to judge people, you know. Carr is not a cancer, you know. He's a good person. He's helped a lot of people, bro. Whether we're talking on the field or whatever, he's not a cancer, man. It's a little bit of harsh words. But I feel you. And like Murph says, you fan how you want to fan, my dude, Raider Paul. Jalen Smith will be a great signing. Yes, we're going to get into that in a minute or two. I just wanted to give props to, or what's up to people that's online. All eyes on G. That this being on the negative side or positive side is lame. You can be a loyal fan without being a blind homer. Exactly. What's up, Miguel? Raiders should retract Jacobs, tag sign some players that want to be Raiders. So you're saying Jacobs doesn't want to be a Raider? Again, that's, in my opinion, harsh criticism that doesn't hold a lot of weight. There's a lot of variables to Josh Jacobs' situation. And you could also say that the Raiders didn't want Jacobs to be a Raider. If you're saying that Jacobs doesn't want to be a Raider, I think you're full of esh. Because the Raiders had the option of knowing how good Jacobs was as well in previous years to pick up his fifth-year option. And they didn't do that. Josh McDaniels came in and said, nope, we ain't picking it up. We're going to test this guy. We're going to play him in the Hall of Fame game. We don't even know if we want him as a Raider moving forward. Then he balled out, proved them all wrong, and now you're saying Josh doesn't want to be a Raider because he doesn't sign the tag? What about when the Raiders didn't give him the fifth-year option that they could have got him for $8 million? It's bad business and bad money management strategy for the Raiders, if you ask me. But thank you for chiming in, Miguel. I love you. All right, let's get into today's training camp show. Let's go over some storylines and latest news and stuff that has happened. Let me get that comment off screen. Let's talk about the Raiders and what's going on at training camp, my observations from reading the reports on Twitter and whatever else not. Let's quickly look at the supposed Raider news. Let me see if I can get everything on screen so we can look at it together. All right, so let's see if, can we make it bigger? Can we make it bigger? Can we make it bigger? Can we make it big? Okay, I think we can. We're on the Raiders website. See what I can read from here. Let's look at the latest Raider news. Then we'll get into some more training camp details. Again, what type of news are we going to get from the actual Raiders media? Probably not the best type of news. Let's be honest with you guys. Let me just make the screen bigger, guys. Hopefully everything's working online. So we got training camp notebooks that the rookie receivers have been flying all over the field. All right. These are the latest headlines. Raiders signed Jacob Hollister. Raiders linebackers forging a blue-collar gritty identity. Okay, we're going to get all the fluff pieces from the Raiders media. We're going to go over some transactions in a minute because I got some issues and some questions about these possible transactions. Again, what type of news are we literally going to get from the Raiders? We're not going to get that much news, like correct news, guys. So let's just get away from that. Let me see if I can get my stream back on screen. Let's go over some of these supposed transactions and talk about them individually. Then we'll talk about the problems and the good stuff that's happening at camp. So the Raiders, and it's not on screen, but they waived O.J. Howard. All right, so let me see if I can bring the screen back. They waived O.J. Howard, okay? One of the two veterans that were supposed to carry the weight of the Darren Waller. And with the addition of Michael Mayer, the tight end. So we had O.J. Howard, Austin Hooper, and then Jacob Hollister. Okay, but they waived O.J. Howard the minute camp started. And just 2 days earlier, O.J. Howard was on the official Raiders podcast. And the quote for the Raiders podcast was how O.J. Howard is going to turn heads for the Raiders this year, or he's going to be a big piece for the Raiders this year. So they make a podcast with O.J. Howard officially on Raiders.com, and then the next day, he's cut. So does that mean that the coaching staff and the Raiders press department or publicity department does not talk to each other? I would say that's the case. Why would you have him in a podcast selling him up to the Raider Nation a day before he's cut? Maybe 2 days. It's just ridiculous. It's optics. The optics are ridiculous. Did something happen in the podcast that Josh McDaniels watched and he didn't like? Did he not say the right things? Did he get injured the next day in camp? Did he not show up? I don't know. We don't know the true stories that are going on because they're not being reported. There is no accountability and transparency for the Raiders and their media department. And again, anything they publish is wrong. Everything they do is being taken differently with division. So it's an S show, okay? But that could be blamed on us fans as well and not being positive about every damn thing we hear or see or do. But that's because of people running the front office and coaching the team. More so than just the players. But O.J. Howard was released. Okay. Then they signed Jacob Hollister back again. That's fine. I guess they like their tight end room. Then there's also been reports that Max Crosby has been putting the wood to Michael Mayer, the rookie tight end. Basically touching him, handling him off the line of scrimmage every time he in camp to teach that young man some strength, some pride, and how to get open in today's NFL. Basically, he's trying to make Michael Mayer prove something. And that's one thing I love about Max Crosby. Fantastic job trying to make everybody better, and he's not holding anything back when he's pressing Michael Mayer. So Michael Mayer is getting an education. Will he exceed and become a starting tight end in the vein of Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, or whoever else these star tight ends are? We do not know. But with players like Max Crosby giving him an education this early, we're going to find out what Michael Mayer's got. So we'll find out by the end of the season if Michael Mayer has it, can handle it, and can put up with it and start to make strides to be one of the best tight ends in the league in the coming years. Raiders also signed linebacker Darius Harris and quarterback Chase Garbers. Now, this is we're going to get into the storyline of Jimmy G, but this is an issue as well. We'll talk about the Chase Garber issues right now, but we'll talk about the Jimmy G and how they coincide together with them signing Chase Garbers. He was already a part of the Raiders a week or two ago. Then, right before training camp started, the Raiders made the media rounds where they talked up Jimmy G. Jimmy G's good to go. He's going to have no restrictions. Blah, 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 blah. We love our quarterback room. Blah, 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 blah. Then, they let go Chase Garbers. We don't need 4 quarterbacks. Chase Garbers, we don't need him. We don't need him. We got 3 quarterbacks. We're good to go. Go ahead, Chase. Go test, not rookie free agency, but go test free agency. Okay? All right, then training camp starts. Then, we'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute. Jimmy G apparently struggled a little, had a planned day off, went home. It was a planned day off. We'll get into that a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, there's reports about Jimmy G and the deep ball and Aiden O'Connell struggling, Brian Hoyer struggling. Yes, they've had good plays, and those are the only ones we hear. But there were some reports about struggles with all the quarterbacks. Then all of a sudden, resign Chase Garbers. Go out and get him. I am Josh McDaniels. I am Dave Ziegler. I am witnessing what the Raiders quarterback room has to offer, and I'm worried. Why did we get rid of Chase Garbers? Bring him back. We're going to need him to play in preseason. And we'll talk about the preseason plans a little bit later in this show. But we're going to need Chase Garbers to play in preseason. Because I don't know if some of our quarterbacks are injured or struggling. And we're gonna have somebody play in the fourth quarter of these preseason games. Bring back Chase Garbers. We're a little scared. We're a little worried. That's what happened. In order for you to let him go right before training camp, you have to have belief and judgment in all the quarterbacks in order to release Chase Garbers. Then after training camp starts, 8 days later, sign Chase Garbers again. Something happened. Something is happening, or they don't like what they see, or they're worried about certain aspects of the year. That is the truth. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. Sorry, I just saw that message. Hi, Jasmine. All right, then the Raiders re-signed defensive tackle Kyle Pecco. There's a bunch of injuries on the defensive line. I don't know if I click the injury button on here, if it's going to show them all. But we have a lot of players, rookie players, drafted players that are injured that are still not even getting on the field, especially on the defensive line. So that is a little bit of an area of concern. But again, it happens with every training camp, with every team. There's injuries here and there and everywhere. The Raiders just recently, about a week ago, I didn't do a video since then, they signed Marcus Peters. And that's because we also have some injuries in the cornerback depth field. And maybe we'll look into that in a minute. But Marcus Peters, he will bring some grit to this team. He will bring some fire. I don't know if he's bringing his MVP Pro Bowl caliber gameplay to this team. And I don't know if he can do it on every play consistently. But he is a welcomed addition to this young cornerback room, and he has fire. These are his final years in the NFL, probably the next 2 or 3. He knows it, based off his injury history and so on and so forth. So he's going to try to get as much money as he can. He's going to try to ball out and play as best as he can to maybe get one more contract with this team or another team. Lord knows this team don't give out contracts. But he's going to try to ball out this year because he's going to get the opportunity to play for these young players that are just not up to par at the moment. And he's going to bring some fire to this team. He's going to end up being a trash talker. And that's how sometimes cornerbacks or nickelbacks or dimebacks or whatever you want to call them, that's how they get a new contract. They start talking trash. And they make a few good plays on a primetime game, then they get a contract the next season. Just look at Eli Apple, for example, when he was with the Bengals. He went from team to team to team to team. He even was a part of the Raiders for a couple of weeks, but he didn't turn on. Eli Apple went to the Bengals. Then they had a primetime game or something against Tyreek Hill, one of the best receivers in the NFL. Then he started trash talking, and then he effed up Tyreek Hill in that game. He was more physical than Tyreek, and he took it to Tyreek Hill with trash talking. Then he got a contract the next year with the Bengals. Then Tyreek Hill, they started trash talking in the media, and Eli Apple got some good money, but now he's no longer a part of the team. I forget where he's at now, maybe Seattle, I don't know. But long story short, from trash talking and having one good game against a good receiver, Eli Apple was able to make another $3 million or whatever it was from one game on primetime TV against a good wide receiver. That is the same mentality Marcus Peters is going to do this year with the Raiders. Again, the Raiders' future doesn't look too bright to the real people that see it as of right now, the next 2 or 3 years. And there's a lot of young players that are going to probably take over for Marcus Peters. So this opportunity for Marcus Peters, he's got to own up to it. And on the primetime games, he has to trash talk and he has to play to the best of his ability to get one more contract for maybe $2, $3, $4 million from another team. But I hope it happens that way. I hope he balls out in a few games, gets a few numbers, and is able to get that long-term contract. But it is not an answer for this future of this team of Marcus Peters. But he will teach grit and pride, and he'll teach some things to the young players coming up. Hopefully he teaches some of them how to be a Raider from the 70s and the 80s and trash talk them up and get physical. I like this signing. I'm expecting good things from it, especially a couple of games. Will he be an all-pro? Will he be an MVP? I do not think so. Will he have the same effect as Charles Woodson when he came to the Raiders? No. It won't be that big as an effect as Charles Woodson, even though he loves the Raiders and he's from Oakland and stuff like that. But I like this signing, and I think this is one of the better ones to help out this young secondary. Him and Marcus Epps, both very, very good, decent players at their respective positions. And they've been in some big games. So we need that on our defense. So this can only help. I hope all the Raiders rookies are signed officially under contract. I know Tyree Wilson is not on the field. He still hasn't been on the field in training camp now that they started pads the other day. And that's really sad to have one of our draft picks, our early draft picks that are supposed to change the line, not even be at training camp, our first-round draft picks. Again, these decisions sometimes boggle my mind. So let's be honest. The draft pick of Tyree Wilson was not for this year. The draft pick of Tyree Wilson was for 2 or 3 years beyond. My goodness, I got a big super chat. My boy, Demi by Nature. Been listening to you for years, and I just want to know I've always appreciated your videos. Demi, God bless you. Thank you for the support. That really helps me out, man. That might allow me to get NFL Plus for like $40 to watch the preseason games for the Raiders. Thank you so much. I love you, Demi. Please let me know how I can help you in the future as well. God bless you, brother. Thank you for the donation and the super chat. But the signing, the draft pick of Tyree Wilson is for the future. And it still has question marks. I personally don't want to draft a player that has that many question marks, even going into his second or third year on a team. If I draft a player that early with a first-round draft pick, I want them and I hope for them to be an immediate day one starting player. That's just my philosophy. So I would have bypassed Tyree Wilson unless they had bad information, which they always get, that he would be available for the start of training camp. I don't know. I think they said he would be available for the start of training camp, and now it's happened. And from all the reports that I did read the last couple of days, he hasn't been on the field. So I am not liking that decision for Tyree Wilson. Maybe I'll like it in the future, and I hope I do. I hope I do. Yeah, so we got Michael F. You can't build a team signing retreads. That's what the word is. I read it backwards. I read it the wrong way. Thought it was the R word. Yeah, Nate Hobbs is looking decent. But again, how much is Nate Hobbs going to improve? I don't think the Raiders have that much belief in him, especially McDumbutt and Ziegler because they brought in Marcus Peters and stuff like that that play that position of the third down back that Nate Hobbs has been appearing to play. Abel said, hey, yeah, he's playing. Eli Apple's playing with the Dolphins. Thank you for the info. They're all signed, all the rookies. Okay, cool, man. Appreciate that. Miguel, you're going on a limb and saying Tyree Wilson is going to play this year. Yeah. Okay, first off, thank goodness. I hope he does. But how late into the year will he play? Again, you want him to be on the field day one for being a first-round draft pick. Because if he doesn't go through training camp officially, if he does start to play in week 4, week 5, week 6, that's 4 weeks missed of training camp and preseason games that he has to get acclimated for and come in on a pitch count in weeks 4, 5, 6, and 7. And he might not be anywhere up to his ability till week 8, 9, 10, or 11. Then he's barely learning how to play. Now he's on the field, a little bit healthy. Now he's learning how to play in week 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then he's not really going to be the Tyree Wilson until next year. That's just honesty. It's just honesty. Nate Hobbs will go back to slot cornerback. Good info. Okay, so you have an update. Yeah, I probably didn't see this the last couple of days. All eyes. Tyree is day to day. I mean, I love the report, but doesn't it sound like nonsense day to day? He's day to day. Yeah, maybe he'll come on the field today. Maybe he'll come on tomorrow. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll come on next week. But it's day to day. It's like the Trump allegations. I don't want to get into it, but it makes me laugh. Trump is getting convicted of conspiracy to defraud the country. Conspiracy to defraud the country. Did he defraud the country? You would think that would be the charge, that he defrauded the country and that's the crime. But no, he's being convicted of conspiracy to defraud. So there is no defraud, but him talking about it with another person, which is the definition of conspiracy. It means two people conspiring to do something. It could be anything. But he's getting convicted of conspiracy or conspiring to defraud. Did the defraud happen? Can they not prove it? So how can you charge him with conspiracy for just talking? I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. Makes me laugh. It's like the police. What am I being arrested for? Resisting. Resisting what? You're resisting arrest. Okay. What am I being arrested for? Resisting. What am I being arrested for? Resisting arrest. What's the initial crime? I don't know yet. I need your ID to find out. Woohoo! Oh my God, I feel like a dumb raider. I mean, a dumb human. Hey guys, it's me, it's Mikey Raider. I'm going to let you know the truth of the world. The world is ridiculous. The world is backwards. It doesn't make any sense. Let's go Raiders. Woohoo! Yeah, Jimmy G's awesome. Tyree Wilson is going to be on the field week 2. No worries, he's day to day. It's all good. I'm being silly. Again, I'm not going to go into politics or whatever. It just makes me laugh. Some of this stuff, guys. All right, let's get back into the reports. So we were talking about the injuries and the let's go to we did the transactions, didn't we? Okay, yeah. Now let's talk about a possible running transaction. Let me see if I can get it on screen without messing anything up for a second. See if I can get this on screen. So here's another possible transaction. where people need to look behind the lines and find out what Josh McDaniels is actually telling us. So let's see if I can get it on screen. How do I do this? I go to stop screen, present the screen. Let me see if I can get it online. And it's very dark. Forgive me, guys. I tried to post it on Twitter, but it had a problem. It stayed in limbo. So I took a screenshot because it's not posting on my Twitter for some reason, or my X. But if you guys can't read it, I'll read it for you as best as I possibly can right here. So this guy, Eric, at Oakland 627, I was trying to find out some latest news for the Raiders, looking on X or Twitter, and this guy, Eric, posted the Raiders worked out Rex Burkhead and Damon Williams, running back. Okay, now let me get this off screen, and let's talk about the running back depth problems that we're having already. So the proof that they are working out Rex Burkhead and Damon Williams is proof that they're worried about their running back depth situation, since Josh Jacobs is not technically, as of now, a part of the team or on the field. We have our Zamir Whitehead, the other rookie that we drafted last year. We got the Patriots, the Abdullah, and whoever else the other Patriots are. And now they're working out former Patriots as well in Damian Williams and Rex Burkhead. Well, why are they doing that? Like I said, read behind the tea leaves behind the tea. Yes, they're worried about Josh Jacobs. But that means that now that training camp has started and they're in pads, they don't like everything they see from their young running backs in Josh McDaniels' system. I believe, this is just a speculation, but if you read behind this, the young Raiders, even in their second year under Josh McDaniels' system, is struggling and do not have the strength, the know-it-all, or the capability that Josh Jacobs has. So, Josh McDaniels worrying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do if any of them get injured? We're going to be even more screwed. So Josh McDaniels does what he always does, and he goes to his expatriates to save face. So let me read my tweet, and maybe you guys will get what I'm trying to say. So in response to Eric saying the Raiders worked out Rex Burkhead and running back Damian Williams, former Patriots, I wrote, do we need more depth? LOL, was there an injury at the running back position? Or are the ones there, meaning the rookies, underperforming? And is Josh McDaniels getting scared and going after expatriates, his failsafe, when he has no faith in his own drafted players or his coaching ability away from the Patriots? Why do you constantly get Patriots when you have Raiders that balled out for you, that you can give them a couple million more dollars, or you could have signed them on the franchise tag, that you have no faith in? Why do you constantly go to Patriot players when these other Raider legacy players or other players have already balled out in your system? I know you say, oh, these other players are better in your system, but these other players have already proven they're good in your system. Or the truth is, maybe you didn't like Josh Jacobs the entire year, but he played so good that you had to keep him part of the roster. That you truly always wanted former Patriots because you have no ability in coaching up players and manning up and being a player's coach. So he's going to his fail-safe of expatriate players when there are players that can do better and play better than the even ones he drafted, thinking they would play good in his system. Again, it's a mind F when you think about it. But it's just proof in the pudding that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler had no plan, even with the drafted players. They had no plan. They were flying by the seat of their pants. Let's not sign Josh Jacobs. I don't believe he'll be good in this system. We didn't do our homework. We didn't do our research. Let's not give him the fifth-year option. Hey, let's put him out in the Hall of Fame game. Hey, he's playing really good. We can't stop it now. Albeit, I wish he would play better in my system. We can't take him off the field. Now he's not here. So I'm going to tell everybody to blame Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs doesn't want to be a Raider. The tag is out there. We're open to signing Josh Jacobs. We got contract offers. We gave him some. But Josh Jacobs, yeah, he's the problem. He doesn't want to be a part of the Raiders. And now the idiot Raider fans are drinking the Kool-Aid and saying, oh, you're right. Jacobs doesn't want to be a Raider. Ridiculous. Jacobs doesn't want to be a Patriot. How about that? Because that's what Josh McDaniels keeps going after. He'll never have a Tom Brady, and he'll never have a Bill Belichick to oversee him. Josh McDaniels, if he doesn't handle it this year, there is no future for him as a good coach. So, we're having running back problems already, but they're not being talked about. And I'm talking away from Josh Jacobs not being a part of the team. We are going to have a committee this year. Even if Jacobs comes back, we're going to have a committee because they're going to put these other running backs in. We're going to have a committee. That's what they did with the Patriots. That's what they're going to do with the Raiders. So he's looking at depth of all his former Patriot players to spell out because he doesn't have enough faith in his second year drafted running backs. He doesn't know truly who his running back is. He doesn't know truly who his running back is. And that's scary to think about because we all know it was Josh Jacobs. Major problems at the running back position, guys. We're going to have a committee when we were welcome to watching one running back do it all. Maybe the committee will work better. Maybe it will. Kudos to McDaniels and everybody. If we sign Rex Burkhead and players like that can catch the ball out of the backfield for Jimmy G, kudos. No problem. But Josh Jacobs is one of a kind. And it's sad. It's sad that they made so many mistakes with negotiations, fifth-year options, that now we're blaming Josh Jacobs that he's not a real or wants to be a Raider. That Kool-Aid y'all need to stop drinking. And just to update you guys, again, the scenario with Josh Jacobs is he's going to hold out. And everybody thinks that after week 1 or 2, he'll come back to the team and he'll play and all that to get the $10 million or whatever. All right. That's good in theory. And that's what I thought a while ago. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. He has until week 11 to be a part of the team to get an accredited year, meaning the franchise tag. If he holds out the entire year, the tag can be given again 2 more times because they hold 2 tags. And if he holds out the entire year, they can tag him or trade him or rescind it if they want to. But again, if the Raiders want to rescind the tag in the next 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever, he'll become a free agent. The money's not guaranteed, whatever, so on and so forth. But that's not the theory I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the theory of Josh Jacobs getting an accredited year under the union for his health benefits and for his money and everything. He has until week 11 to sign the tag. I would be... Sorry, something happened with my screen. Hope it's still live. I would be truthful in saying Josh Jacobs is going to hold out definitely early, see how the Raiders are playing, see the injuries across the league, see if the Raiders are winning, how the team is doing at the running back position. And if they're failing or not doing so well or not winning games, then the Raiders are going to have to figure out a way to give him an offer or a contract like they did with Saquon for a few $1 million more. Or if they're winning early and looking good, Josh Jacobs can hold out longer because they're winning. So he can hold out longer. Or he can sign because they are winning to want to be a part of a playoff team and get the money. Again, whatever Jacobs decides, he can do. But I think the best thing for Jacobs is to see if they're winning or losing. And then, if they're losing, sign in week 10. Get on the field week 11, 12. You're not going to play as much. You're still into training. Maybe we're on a playoff run. Maybe we're not. But you still get at least half of the money, not the whole $10 million. You're going to get your weekly check. It's still going to be $700,000 or whatever it is. And you're still going to make $5 million. And you come back and you might not get injured because you came back to the team in week 10 or 11 and you only played a few games and we don't go to the playoffs. So then that way you're healthy enough for the following season when the Raiders can tag you again, but you still made $5 million. You didn't play the whole season. You hopefully didn't get injured. You didn't wear out your body, and you still did some good games and whatever. So that's an interesting thing that could happen. All right, we've talked enough about the running back situation. You guys understand what's going on there. We're having linebacker problems too. Yeah, you're right. I did hear something about that. That's why they signed that linebacker. Robert Spillane and a bunch of other people are injured as well. So, again, a lot of us people want to talk about Jacobs, but again, it's just, it is what it is. Even if Josh Jacobs comes back to the team, plays again, the Raiders have another franchise tag that they can do next year. They could screw him again. But again, people say getting him $10 million is not screwing him. It's about the guarantees. If he can guarantee like $15 million in 2 seasons, he would have came back to the team. Get like $12 million a year, but guarantee like $15 or $20 million out of that 30 or whatever it might be, he would have came back. But they're not giving him enough guarantees. But Saquon Barkley probably had a need for money more than Josh Jacobs did, hence why Saquon Barkley signed for that extra $1.5 million or whatever it was. We don't know Jacobs' financial situation. So, but I don't know how much power he truthfully has. So we'll leave it at that. But hey, man, whatever he decides, you got to be proud of him and him sticking up for his beliefs. You got to do that. You got to do that. Frankie, McTrash wants to draft in the top 5 next season while trying not to lose the locker room. I feel bad for Dennis Allen. DA, Devontae Adams, and the super optimistic fans. Yes, that is one theory that is out there, and I could see that happening. Let's be honest. We're going to talk about that theory, Frankie, in about 10 minutes when we talk about Jimmy G. But yes, McDaniels might expose himself this preseason and what his plans are. Like, I believe he tanked last year. I don't think he tanked early. I think he tried to win and do everything to his ability early, but he just kept losing games. Then he realized him and Carr don't have the chemistry, or they don't like each other, or whatever happened. Then he's just like, screw it, I'm tanking. I got to get rid of Carr. I got to do it publicly. So I'm going to stop throwing the ball with Carr. I'm going to stop making adjustments or doing things different second half. I'm going to get rid of Carr. So in the Pittsburgh game, he knew what he was doing to Derek Carr. Instead of running the ball with Jacobs, which they should have do, even Jacobs spoke about it at the end of the game. He goes, I don't know why they got away from it. It was working, but yet they put the ball in Derek Carr's hands, and then he threw interceptions, and now we benched him. They did all that purposely, publicly, to get rid of and bench Derek Carr for a tanking season. He didn't try to tank early last year. He tried to win. He just didn't know how to. And with the way he was treating the team and the players, it went to crap. So then he realized, you know what, this season is a wash. I got to get rid of the players that are not on my side. I got to do it publicly. I got to do it carefully. And that's what happened. That's what happened last year. Now, this year, he's got a 4-year deal. He's still got 3 years left. So he can go into this year tanking for a quarterback like Caleb Williams, or a possible, Patrick Mahomes clone, or Jalen Hurts clone, or whatever they say they are. So he could tank this year as well. And then draft those quarterbacks. And then in his mind, he built his team going into the 3rd year. And then that will hopefully start the playoff run. And then maybe a Super Bowl in the 4th year, or a deep playoff run. Again, all I know is they took another 4 or 5 years from our Raider lives. And it's another change, another system, and I'm tired of it. We had a playoff team. I just watched Murph's show earlier today, and he said, him and Swag Jeff and all of them, they all agreed that the Raiders under Rich Bisaccia overperformed. I don't agree with that statement, Murph. They said the Raiders under Rich Bisaccia overperformed because they had leaders and dogs and all that they overperformed. They shouldn't have won all those games. They shouldn't have went to the playoffs and all that. No, they didn't underperform. If they have the ability and the heart, which they all did, as was proven, they didn't overperform. They had it within them. So they didn't overperform. They performed. They came together and they performed. And they used the emotions to perform. That's what was lacking last year under McDaniels. All the bureaucracy, the bullshit, the becoming Patriots West, the signing, the lying, the this, the that from Josh McDaniels, the play calling, the game plan, the not being a part of the players, the not being coaching a player up. He took away all the emotions and all the abilities that the players had and the love for one another. And he broke it all down. He took it all away. He said, I don't care who you are. I'm going to play you in the Hall of Fame game. I'm going to test everybody. Derek Carr, I'm not going to make a playbook for you. I want you to throw the ball where I tell you to. No more of your type of passes. I'm not going to build a playbook around you and become great together. You're going to do as I tell you, because I'm the Super Bowl winning coach. And you're just Derek Carr, the player that struggles. And, you're Devontae Adams. Run the route where I tell you. Throw the ball where I tell you. He took away everything from that team. So, Murph, I disagree with you. The Raiders did not overperform. They performed to their abilities that they had within them because they had an emotional, friendly players coach in Rich Bisaccia, as well as awesome leaders in Derek Carr and other players of that nature. That's my opinion. All right, let's get back into the storylines from training camp that people don't see. All right, so we just talked about that. All right, we talked about the weird transactions with Chase Garbers and the running back, possible transactions. We just talked about that. Now, let's talk about the defense real quick. The defense, is it improving? Yeah, it is. Of course it is. I'm going to give you a positive tip. With the additions of Marcus Epps, Marcus Peters, the defense is improving. We got young drafted players that are going to learn. And how bad can you be? You can't be worse than last year in a second year under Patrick Graham, can you? I guess that question will be answered in the coming days or in the coming games. But can you be as worse as you were last year? With some good additions? You can be. That is the Raiders' legacy and lore on defense most of the time. But I see improvement under a second year under Patrick Graham, whether I like his system or I don't. I see improvement. We're going to find some diamond in the roughs and some other players that were diamond in the roughs last year. They might degrade, but I hope they upgrade. So I think our defense will be better, and they are improving. And that's the most you can hope for. But ask me this question again in week 10. Ask me this question again in week 10. Let me know your thoughts on the defense. Is it improving? Who you're looking after? And I want a camp person to be a beast. I want a rookie to come out and ball out this year, and I'm hoping it's Jacorian Bennett. I think he's from Michigan or Ohio State, the cornerback. I'm hoping he'll be that draft pick that just comes out and balls out like Nate Hobbs did a couple of years ago. That's what, hey, Raider Critiques Online, what's up? What's up? So I hope it's Jacorian Bennett, man, and I'm looking forward to watching that kid. Now, let's talk about the defensive line. We already talked a little bit about Tyree Wilson. Chandler Jones, he's got to improve. Now that they know how to use him, he's got to improve. It might not be in the sack department, but he's got to improve in coverage and wherever else. If he doesn't, it's just, oh my God, 2 years of paying ridiculous money for a player that didn't really pan out. It's just going to burn my britches. But they couldn't release him or get money for him or whatever this year. And whatever. But Max Crosby is balling out in camp. Max Crosby is fighting, teaching tight ends, Michael Mayer. He's educating him on the plays and this and that, being a beast. Max Crosby is also going after Jimmy Garoppolo when he's in there. Apparently there was a fight, or Max Crosby did something, maybe tackled Jimmy G, touched him when he wasn't supposed to, or got in his face, or trash talked him, or did something to Jimmy Garoppolo to where it looked like a fight or an argument or whatever on the sidelines, and Josh McDaniels took it out on Max Crosby. Not Jimmy G. He took it out on Max Crosby. Apparently, he made Max Crosby run laps. Now, do I have a problem with that? No, I do not. Any laps are good for Max Crosby. But do I have a problem with Jimmy G not being told to take laps? Did Jimmy G not say something back to Max Crosby? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did. But I would want Jimmy G to say something back to Max Crosby, hence why they get in an argument where they're both holding each other to a blade of steel and iron sharpens iron. So if Jimmy G said anything back as well, or threw the ball, or whatever happened, I do not know. It's all speculation. Jimmy G, no matter what, in my opinion, even though Max Crosby had to run laps, maybe he started it, maybe he finished it, whatever the case is. As a coach, I would tell Jimmy G, run laps as well. Oh, that's your quarterback. You can't do that. He's got a bad leg. Hence why Jimmy G has restrictions. But I would have made them both run laps. Both be accountable for each other's actions. Again, Jimmy G will be accountable for Max Crosby's actions. Max Crosby will be accountable for Jimmy G's actions. Then the team will witness that you're not only making Max Crosby, the guy that started the fight or the argument or the trash talk, you're not only making him run laps or making him, repay whatever he did, you're also holding your starting quarterback to an example to hold each other accountable. The team would see that. Or you could have told Jimmy G to give you 10 push-ups or 20 push-ups. Again, that's my coaching strategy. Might not be yours, but that's what I would have done. But I don't hear about anything about Jimmy G being held accountable. That's just my opinion. What did Frankie say? He said, yeah, you can't do that to Jimmy G because if Jimmy G takes a lap, he might get injured. Yeah, that's my thought exactly. But still, the optics to the rest of the team as your head coach, what does that say? Even knowing Jimmy G is injured or could get injured, what does that say? It says, I don't give a damn. You're on the field today. I ain't going to worry about that shit. Everybody run laps. There will be no fighting, no disagreements, no possible hurting of each other, no trash talk against you guys. Again, that's the option McDaniels, in my opinion, should have taken if he was going to make Max Crosby run laps. Now, that being said, if you look at it from the legacy Raiders, the 1970s, or 80s, or 60s Raiders, I love the fighting. I want Jimmy G and Max Crosby to go head-to-head. Let's do it. Let's do it. Bring back that fire. That's what Max Crosby is trying to do for this team. He's trying to bring back that spunk, that fire on defense, where the defense is versus the offense. And the old Buddy, what was the guy's name? Buddy, that coach, Buddy something. Buddy from the Eagles, Buddy Ryan. Remember those days where the defense and the offense in training camp would punch each other? I don't want that to happen, but I like that physicality. I like that stuff. That's called building a tough-ass team. None of these insecure players that we got nowadays. And, these insecure fans and insecure players, it's ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. Let's be honest with you. The fans even fight with other fans on Twitter, Remember when the offensive lineman, I forgot his name, wanted to fight with a fan in the parking lot? Hey, what's up, $10-20 million man? What's up, man? You want to throw balls? An actual Raider player wanted to fight a Raider fan in the parking lot. There's video of it to prove it. Everybody's so insecure. I'm insecure. Derek Carr's insecure. I'm insecure. Man, this world is just really, really bad with insecurities. Must be something in the water. Must be something in the water. Woo! But man, that's my opinion on the Max Crosby, Jimmy Garoppolo issue. So yes, the defense is improving, and Max is trying to help improve it as well by what he's doing and all that other stuff. And again, I'm not a defensive guru or whatever. All right, so let's get into the big major takeaways from camp. Okay. These are my major takeaways from camp. Maybe nobody else's. And let's talk about these storylines. Let me get that thing off screen for now, and then I'll bring it back in a minute because we'll have another Twitter to show. But my major takeaways from camp this season is the optics so far. Again, whether it be the contract with Josh Jacobs, the lack of transparency, the what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo and the injury, what Josh McDaniels is saying in the media coverage in his press conferences about how Jimmy G has no restrictions, and then a few days later, there are restrictions put on Jimmy G. It's just, we can't believe anything they say, and we can't take the media reports at face value. And they're not showing all the plays. We hear from a reporter in a text on Twitter or whatever, oh, this player, Brian Hoyer, threw a deep, touchdown to this player. And then, we don't know who that player that he threw the touchdown to was. And then we hear, oh, there was an interception thrown to Nate Hobbs on this play. Well, they didn't mention the quarterback that threw the interception. Why? Are they saving Jimmy Garoppolo? Are they saving Brian Hoyer? Are they saving Aiden O'Connell from the transparency that he threw a couple interceptions? They're cutting out names, so they're giving us half the information. And that pisses me off. But again, everything will be dissected by every fan. If Jimmy G throws an interception, the Derek Carr lovers will say, you see, Jimmy G sucks, et cetera, so on and so forth. But they can't be afraid, these reporters or the Raiders press, to write that stuff. You have to tell the truth of what's happening at camp. You have to. Because that means an organization is being transparent moving forward. And that's what I want from our Raiders. Good or bad, be transparent. So we always have to look for the lies. So you get videos that I do that are negative and all that because they're lying to us. Or they're hiding the truth. Or they're hiding players, from scrutiny or objection or critique. It's really annoying. Then on top of that, sorry guys, a little dehydrated. Then on top of that, I saw, I keep hearing stories of good plays at training camp. And then I keep wanting to see those plays on the Raiders website or the Raiders.com or from the beat reporters or whatever. And those plays that were mentioned, even the bad ones, but even the good ones, I don't see them in any video. Why? Why are you going to talk about it? Not even talk about the player that did it. And then I can't even see it in a daily video or a daily recap on Raiders website. Why are you hiding? Oh, because no videos are allowed at training camp. Or no fans are allowed to do that. No reporters as well. They can only record for 10 minutes. And that's what I found out. I found out at training camp, the fans can only record certain plays, like they have a pre-planned play, and they say, okay, Raider fans, you can film this play, or you can film this, department, or this takeover, or this lineup, or this agreement, whatever the heck it is, this system, or this offensive strategy. You can only film that for 5 minutes, and we have spotters watching you. Turn your camera off. You're not allowed to film right now. Then the reporters are told they can only film, warm-ups or this or that or certain plays as well. And again, it all sounds good and nice, but the excuse is we don't want the other teams to see our game plan. We don't want a lot of videos online of our game plan, of our plays and our this and our that. Okay, first off, is Josh McDaniels' playbook secret? Doesn't he do all the same plays, the past 20 years with the Patriots? I think that's been proven. But I understand that philosophy. But still, from the official Raiders.com, you can show those plays that you hype up in social media. You can show those plays in your video. And why aren't you doing that? Show the bad with the good. Why doesn't your press department or your PR department have a daily video or whatever called the good and the bad? Why not? Why do you only want to present the fake and the good? Present the bad. Go, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo struggled on this pass, right here. But look, at the next time he did that same exact pass, Jimmy G scored a touchdown. You get it? The good and the bad. A yin and the yang. Why can't you let us see those progressions? But no, you just keep selling all the good, don't want to show any of the bad because you're afraid of critique and criticism, which you get a lot of. But it's warranted. It's deserved. You deserve a lot of critique, Raiders organization, Raiders coaches. Maybe not the players on every occasion, but, that's hand in hand. Everybody that has a social media believes they have a voice. So every idiot with an opinion will critique every player, coach, or whoever, and they think their opinion is correct, myself included. So that's one of my takeaways from camp is the transparency, the media availability, and the lack of truth and video and positivity from the team. Um, and in these reports or press conferences, again, lack of transparency. Josh McDaniels says, "Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo has no restrictions, this and that." Then Jimmy Garoppolo has a supposed planned day off, or this, or that, or he's not at camp, or he only takes a few reps. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then no Raiders reporter asks the hard questions. They just go along with the narrative. Just go along with the narrative because they're employed by them, and they'll lose their privileges. So the Raiders is a hierarchy, and it's being proven by these reporters not going against the grain and not really telling the truth of what's happening or asking the tough questions. Only the fans ask the tough questions, like me, Wi-Fi Willie, and then a lot of the other fans or video makers, they don't even ask these type of questions. They just go along with the positivity and the narrative, and they drink the Kool-Aid. Then they say we're not real Raider fans because we ask questions or we don't have 100% positivity. It's a really, really weird world to be in, to be a Raider fan, to be honest with you guys. It's a really, really, really world to be a Raider fan. So that being said, those are just the simple takeaways from camp. Again, I'm not going to talk about all the on-the-field stuff and this and that because I'm not witnessing it. I'm not a guru. I'm not there. I don't really believe everything I hear from the Raiders reporters. But all I do know is I don't think we've had a major injury in camp. Like, I think there was one to Jalen Ramsey the other day. There was one to the quarterback for the Bengals. And I haven't heard of a big one, knock on wood, that happened during camp. Maybe you guys could let me know, but I haven't read anything like that. And gosh forbid, knock on wood, John Gruden-esque, knock on wood, if you hear me, hopefully that doesn't happen. So, those are my simple takeaways from camp. Now, let's get into each subject of this and why I have some issues with it. And let's find the truth behind it, guys. Let's find the truth behind it. All right. First off, we'll start with this issue that apparently arrived a couple of days ago. All right. What's up, Dionysius? He's online. We got you. We got you. We love you. Raiders Resistance is online. Love you all. Love you all. And I'll be interacting a little bit more in about 10, 15 minutes, guys. I appreciate you. Get some questions ready, Q&A, and we'll be talking some stuff in a minute. All right, so Jimmy G, apparently, even critiques of Jimmy G when he became a Raider and before he became a Raider was that Jimmy Garoppolo is the short ball thrower. He's a system quarterback. He's not a very good deep ball thrower. He throws the ball anywhere between 0 and 18 yards or 0 and 20 yards very well to Deebo Samuel, whoever else, the running backs out of the backfield. Then they break tackles and they make big plays and this and that. There's been the occasional play to Deebo Samuel, maybe 28 yards, 30 yards down the field, where he breaks a tackle and gets a touchdown. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but I don't know. There was something I saw a while back that Derek Carr is a better deep ball passer and an all-around quarterback that can throw the passes better than Jimmy G statistically in the 50-yard line or whatever. I don't know. I thought I saw a stat like that, but I'm not here to compare right now. But Jimmy G has been reportedly having deep ball issues. Then everybody on Twitter goes online and shows Jimmy Garoppolo's deep ball issues. Then everybody goes online and shows Derek Carr's deep ball issues. Then everybody goes online that shows Jimmy G doesn't have deep ball issues. And they show plays from the 49ers or whoever with Jimmy G throwing the deep ball. Then they show Derek Carr throwing the deep ball, having no problem. It became a Jimmy G versus Derek Carr fest. And it made the rounds in the media by the reporters, and everybody's talking about it, so on and so forth. But again, I'm not going to talk about this situation to compare Derek Carr to Jimmy G. I said it earlier, Derek Carr, in my opinion, is a better overall quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo with the throws and stuff like that. Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G, in my opinion. But Derek Carr is not a winning quarterback like Jimmy G is under a better system. That's just proven. Okay? The comparisons will end there. So, but it was known that Jimmy G, before he became a Raider, had deep ball issues. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay? You didn't hear Derek Carr having deep ball issues when he was going to the Saints. You haven't heard that being brought up until just recently from the Derek Carr haters. I got to stop bringing up Carr. Forgive me. But does Jimmy G have deep ball issues? Yes, he does. So does Derek Carr at certain points. But Jimmy G can throw the deep ball. Okay? Let's get that right. But everything has to happen and align better for Jimmy G to throw a perfect deep ball than at times Carr, in my opinion. But the optics of this has divided the nation again. Jimmy G versus Derek Carr. It's making the rounds. It's making the quarterback look bad. There are reports that Jimmy G was struggling with the deep ball in camp a couple of days ago. And then again, all those reports disappeared. And then the Raiders press, they specifically put in place for Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the deep ball to a touchdown to Jacoby Myers, I think it was. And they filmed it and they showed it on Twitter and social media and everywhere to debunk the notion that Jimmy G has deep ball issues. Then the Raider Kool-Aid drinkers read it, fonted with it, publicated it, talked about it, and did it. So it's an issue. It's another issue that Josh McDaniels and the Raiders team has brought to the nation by not being transparent. Okay? And everybody thinks they're a freaking NFL coach or scout or stat maker, even us fans. So I'm getting kind of annoyed of it. It's whatever. Let's try to have as much possibility, barring Jimmy G's issues, whether they be deep ball or tissue. And we're going to talk about his tissue issues right now. Jimmy G has deep ball issues at certain points, more so than Derek Carr. It's my opinion, but he can throw the deep ball and he can get it done when everything goes right. So, is Jimmy G going to be expected to throw the deep ball as much as Derek Carr was under Gruden and whoever else? No, because the Josh McDaniels system is one of those this and that. The Tom Brady, this and that. Tom Brady was not the best deep ball passer either. He had it, just like Jimmy G does, but he wasn't the best. But he's definitely better than Jimmy G and definitely better than Derek Carr. But the system that Josh McDaniels run is that 20-yard system. That's why we brought in all the slot wide receivers. And that brings me up to the Hunter Renfrow rumors. Will he be traded? I don't know. We're going to have to find out if we're winning. We're going to have to find out what's going on before the trade deadline. But he will not be traded in the next 5 or 6 weeks because there's too much of a dead cap hit. And then on top of that, do we even have any money to sign Josh Jacobs on the tag if he signs it? Because from last, let me see what our actual cap space is real quick, guys. Because again, did they set aside $10 million for the franchise tag for Josh Jacobs to hopefully sign it? I don't think they did. So, if even Josh Jacobs came to sign the tag today, would we be able to sign it? Would we have the $10 million? I don't know. They did do a restructure on somebody just recently. I forgot who it was, or when they got rid of OJ Howard. Hey, and that's right. We cut OJ Howard, guys, as I spoke about earlier. We cut OJ Howard and we saved $600,000. Oh, yay. We saved like $650,000. But yet we still got $1.5 million or something of dead cap money from cutting OJ Howard. Smart business decisions, Raiders. Smart business decisions. All right, let's see if we can get that at all a little bit bigger. Sorry, guys. Will that go bigger? Yeah. All right, let's just look what we have in cap space. All right, there it is. They're saying as of right now, we have $4.4 million. Okay? Is Josh Jacobs already accrued for? I guess he is. I guess that money's hidden or it's on the cap already. I do not know that, but I don't know. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Let's look at the dead cap, guys. Where's the dead cap numbers? All right, so this is in dead money, guys, from all the bad decisions, whether it be from Gruden or McDaniels or Ziegler or whoever. Corey Littleton this year has a dead cap of $10 million. That would have signed Josh Jacobs right there. Okay, Derek Carr, only $5.5 million, not too bad. Carl Nassib, $5 million, almost as much as Derek Carr. Kenyon Drake, with that ridiculous contract from Gruden, I believe it was, $4.4 million this year. Alex Leatherwood, $3.5 million. Darren Waller, not so bad there because he was traded. OJ Howard, dead money. Oh, okay, it's only $5.5 million. I thought it was, 500,000. I thought it was like $1 million something. Tyreek, long story short, $30.5 million on dead money from bad decisions, that if they managed at least 3 or 4 of those players better, whether it be Gruden, McDaniels, or whoever, if they handled the cuts or the this or the that better, we could have at least shaved $15 million, and that would have gave Josh Jacobs a contract. I'm just saying, guys. Just saying. So the people running the cap in some of these situations are not doing good. And then apparently we got a player on injured reserve, Jordan Perryman, for $500,000. He's an offensive lineman, right? Yeah. But apparently we only got $4.5 million on the cap. Maybe that Josh Jacobs $10 million, if he signs the tag, is lying there somewhere earning interest. I do not know. But if it's not, again, I don't know how the money works. If it's not, then even if he signed the tag, we wouldn't have all the money to pay him because we only got $4 million. That's just my takeaway from it. It's my takeaway from it, guys. Yes, Elite. I found out the answer. Forgive me for making a mistake, but I can't remember everything correctly. Appreciate you. Michael F. Corey Littleton. Oh, yeah, I remember all I know. Raider podcast. I know it all. Raider podcast said he was going to be great. Nope. Elite Mad Staffing wants to yell at me. The tag money is already allocated. You should know that. If you're a Raiders video maker, you should know that. Thank you, Elite Mad Staffing. You probably work for the Raiders. It's all good, brother. God bless you. All right, let's get into the next problem that is a big issue from my things. And let's watch, again, my video may slow down and everything will get a little wonky while I watch this video. But I think he did a great job explaining the situation. And then I'm going to get into some conspiracy theories beyond this. And we're going to talk about Josh McDaniel, how he might expose himself and them tanking in the future. But let me get this Wi-Fi Willie video on stream and watch it if you guys haven't seen it, and we'll discuss what's going on. And my video and audio might get a little weird, but hopefully it'll revert back to something good after we watch the vid. Maybe, maybe not the whole video, but let's see. And a credit to Wi-Fi Willie, who makes great content. I'll put a link down below for you guys to subscribe to him if you haven't. He edits and does everything very well, and we think a lot alike. So that's why I enjoy his stuff. All right, let's see if I can get this on screen.
It's from former Pro Bowl player.
All right, we're going to talk about Jimmy G's supposed planned days off and what's really happening. Is there an injury? Is he being taken off of the field for what? To save his body? It's a fascinating thing that's going on that not a lot of reporters are talking about, and they're not asking the good questions. But we're going to do so in a couple minutes. So let's check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders are practicing right now, and they have visits from former Pro Bowl players. A bunch of signings could be on the way. Plus, we have an update on Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want to be negative. I want to be positive. My doctor told me I got to watch out on the cholesterol and the stress levels and the blood pressure. So I'm going to try to be more chill, a little more optimistic for my own health, but I cannot help but get real at the end of this video.
See, that's why I love this guy. We think the same. We got blood pressure, cholesterol. We're yelling at the Raiders. It's insane to be a Raider fan, as I spoke about in the beginning of this video. And it's just why I really enjoy this guy's content. Again, whether you guys call him a grifter or this or that, I don't care. I enjoy it. I think he does a fantastic job. And let's watch this video about Jimmy G's planned days off.
Raiders have Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane at linebacker. Those are the projected starters, and they also have Luke Masterson, who came on the scene last year and wore the green dot, which is very important, meaning that he was getting the plays from Patrick Graham in his helmet, and he was able to coordinate with the defense and sort of get everybody organized. But the Raiders still feel like they need help at linebacker, and that is why they are hitting up free agent Jalen Smith. He's working out with the Raiders right now. Keep in mind, this guy has been in the NFL Top 100 multiple times. He originally came out of Notre Dame and was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys and even made the Pro Bowl in 2019. But injuries have always plagued his career, even coming out of college. He was able to spend some time with the Giants, so he has some familiarity with Patrick Graham's system. But Smith seems to be a little healthier than usual. He was able to play 626 snaps with the Giants last year, picked up 60 tackles as well. You love to see that. The Las Vegas Review-Journal is claiming that this is more so the Raiders doing their due diligence, and we're not quite sure and we're not quite optimistic that he's going to immediately be signed. But I think the Raiders should grab this guy. They need help at linebacker. He's athletic, and it seems like he's back from injury. But
all right, so on the Jalen Smith front, and then Elite Mad Staffing, yeah, you're probably right. It looked like more stuff from Gruden on that dead cap space. I could agree with that. I believe it was more stuff from Gruden, definitely. So I appreciate that comment. But on the linebacker situation, I would like Jalen Smith to sign with the Raiders. Apparently, we only got like $4 million. And again, Josh McDaniels likes to try out players on a one-year run. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. He is a good enough player. Why not add another veteran like a Marcus Peters, like a Marcus Epps to our defense, especially at the linebacker position, regardless of all his issues and struggles? I don't see a signing of that magnitude hurting the Raiders. So I kind of want that to happen, the Jalen Smith, signing, if they did it. I wouldn't hate it. James Harry said he was great at one point. Yep, he was. He was. And hopefully he can be great for 2 or 3 games if he signs with the Raiders. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. Andrew Santana, you're pumped for Marcus Peters? I was too. I talked about it a little bit earlier if you go back in the video. But yeah. Hey, if somebody knows how to make chapters where you put a chapter of where I talk about something, do it for me. I think you can do it for me online. But yeah, let's continue watching the video and this Jimmy Garoppolo situation that I need to talk about.
Overall, at training camp, several reporters are talking about the defense, how the defense looks better than last year. And one person who has to be special for the Raiders, this is a guy who has to ball out for the Raiders, and that is Marcus Epps. The Raiders paid him a 2-year contract at around $9 million in total. So when you look at the whole entire defense, Marcus Epps is actually the 3rd highest paid player on the defense right now. So it's great to see Eddie Pascal talking about the fact that he's had some nice days since the pads came on.
Eddie Pascal said Marcus Epps had a good day ever since the pads came on. Eddie Pascal, who does he work for? The Raiders. You think he's not going to hype up their free agent draft picks? Come on. Again, he probably did have a good day, but you can't trust anything that the official Raider people say, especially even though we like him, he's a good guy. You can't believe every single word that comes out of Eddie Pascal's name. He's not going to give you the negative. He'll only give you the positive. Maybe that's why we like him. We love you, Eddie. Sorry, guys, my computer froze or whatever happened.
The Raiders need this guy to shine. And not only has Marcus Epps been shining, Max Crosby is obviously doing well, and apparently Robert Spillane and Divine Diablo, according to The Athletic, have played the run well, and Marcus Peters, the rookie Jacorian Bennett, Nate Hobbs, and cornerback David Long Jr. have made some plays in coverage, so you love to see that. The defense desperately needs to get better, and it seems like the Raiders have chosen to have some low investment players that have high upside, and it seems to be panning out right now. And we're getting some energy from the coaches.
God, I hate this guy's father. The ridiculousness of how they, for Josh McDaniels, Mick Lombardi or whatever his father's name is. Oh my God.
Lombardi, the son of Michael Lombardi, who likes to go out there in the media and just defend Josh McDaniels all the time. Does a great job at it, I will say. But Mick Lombardi, the offensive coordinator, was showing more energy. It was the most animated that people have seen him. And even Josh McDaniels was getting really animated as well, really pumped up with full padded practice happening. And apparently
that's good. I mean, look, whether you like him or hate him, the offensive coordinator, you need him to be animated. You got to animate this offense, this defense, this team as a whole, man. We got to build a winner because we can't continuously build a tanker and a loser. We can't do it. The averages are just beyond eye-numbing for the past 20 years for the Raiders. Like, my goodness.
A lot of F-bombs, so you love to see that. Coaches getting after these players' ass, telling them they need to step up. And the Raiders' newest addition, Marcus Peters, made some plays. He finally got his first pick off of Jimmy Garoppolo. So Jimmy G, you better watch out when Peters is around. Hopefully that means that Peters is just balling out and it's not Garoppolo messing up. And here's the thing. I was going to get crazy today. I was going to be Wi-Fi Willie today, but I got...
All right, so here's the situation. I want to talk about it in a minute, but here's the reason why I love this video, and I want to just share it with you guys, not only for the amazing updates that he does, but this Jimmy G planned days off situation. What is really happening? It doesn't make any sense, and none of us know what's actually going on. People want to give a simple answer that it's this, that it's that, but there's always more to the story than meets the eye. It's like the damn Transformers. More than meets the eye or the text that you read. Let's listen to this, and then I'll give my feedback. I'm going to let the entire rest part of this video play through. Then I'm going to give my answer.
Gotta keep the health in check, and I gotta chill out, but I cannot help but point out what happened today. And I think this is ridiculous, and I think this is a huge concern. You can try to polish the turd all you want, but at the end of the day, it is just a turd. And what has happened today is the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo left practice early. Now, we know he missed practice on a Saturday just last week. Apparently, it was a predetermined day off by the doctor. And now we have him leaving practice early, and apparently it was a predetermined rep count, predetermined pitch count. He only had a select number of pitches in which he was allowed to practice today, according to the doctor. And yes, guys.
Okay, so let me give you the TLDR, the lowdown rundown. When training camp started, Josh McDaniels had a press conference, said Jimmy G has no restrictions, that he's good to go. He's going to start the day. He's not going to be on the PUP list, so on and so forth. And again, my video and my sync is going to be a little off-putting while this video is on screen, so forgive me. It's going to be a little off sync. But he wasn't on the PUP list and stuff like that. And he was good to go. We were all excited. Then after 3 days of being on the field, Jimmy Garoppolo on Saturday, I believe it was, did not show up to training camp. There was reports that he was there. There was reports that he wasn't there, that he stayed home. I don't know what to believe. All I know is he wasn't on the field practicing on that Saturday. Right? Then the media asked Josh McDaniels a question, and Josh McDaniels said it was a pre-planned day off. Is that like a veteran day off? Do Aaron Rodgers and other players on a new team, in a new system, with a new team, get planned days off, whether it be for injury or not? No, I don't think they do. But that being said, everybody says, oh, it's a pre-planned day off. They take whatever Josh McDaniels tells them and they run with it. Oh, it's a pre-planned day off. They knew all along he's going to get a pre-planned day off. Okay. Why was it planned? If Jimmy Garoppolo had no restrictions, why are they giving him supposed doctor pre-planned days off if he has no restrictions? Why can't he be on the field talking up the team, literally right there on practice, on the field, hyping up the team, learning the plays, going through it visually or whatnot, while healing his body? But that didn't happen. So it was a pre-planned day off, and everybody accepted that narrative. Oh, it's, he's coming off injury. They're going to work him into the system. They're going to work him in. He needs reps with Devontae. He needs reps on the field. He needs to get his legs under him. Okay? But that's all in good when it's one pre-planned day off. But we were told he was going to have multiple pre-planned days off. Our brand new quarterback, who hasn't been in a Josh McDaniels system in over 6 years, coming off an injury, is getting no restrictions, but he's getting planned days off every 3 or 4 days in training camp. So now the report is, post the pre-planned day off on Saturday, Jimmy Garoppolo came back on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and had a good day, or whatever they say. Then all of a sudden, on Wednesday, today, he shows up, takes a few reps, and then goes home, or leaves, or goes into the locker, or whatever he did. And then the press conference for Josh McDaniels happened before today's practice, so the reporters could not have the ability to know that Jimmy Garoppolo was on a pitch count and would take himself off of the field for whatever reason. They weren't able to ask Josh McDaniels, why is that happening? Why is he getting pre-planned days off? Why is he on a pitch count when you said he had no restrictions? Because the press conference happened before practice today. So now we have to wait a few more days until Josh McDaniels will talk. But then by that time, Jimmy G will hopefully be back on the field and doing good, and they're not going to want to talk about it. They want to let this fly under the rug. What is really happening? They were pre-planned, Mikey Rader. Well, then why did Josh McDaniels say he has no restrictions? Then in the media, why is Josh McDaniels saying that Jimmy G, even though they say he knows the system, it's been 6 years, and they're overhyping Jimmy G's knowledge of my system. You're going to find out about that in a second. Why is he on a pitch count? Are they saving his shoulder? Is it hard for him to stand on the field for 3 days in a row and put a full practice together for 2 days off of that injury? Is he having some deep tissue issues? What does this mean for the preseason? What does this mean for the season? He's not getting the valuable reps with the young players. So he's going to start the season sluggishly. And apparently these planned days off are going to continue. And apparently he's going to be on a pitch count. Is Aaron Rodgers on a pitch count? Is any other players coming off injury on pitch counts in training camp? Yes, maybe they are. But not one as important as the quarterback position to the Raiders. And not one that just a week ago, Josh McDaniels was laughing and saying he has no restrictions. He's not going to be placed on the physically unable to perform list. He's availability. He's good to go. Everything's looking good. I'm not anxious. I'm not anxious about Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe you guys are anxious about him and his injury. I'm not. I know things that you don't know. I'm not anxious. Maybe you guys are, but he has no restrictions. He's good to go. Oh, they're just pre-planned days off. Oh, he's on a pitch count. Oh, we're working him in little by little. Although we need a starting quarterback this season. Maybe he's struggling in the system. Jimmy Garoppolo is. Just like Derek Carr did last year. It's still 6 years later that Jimmy G hasn't been in Josh McDaniels' system. Hence why they went out and signed Chase Garbers again that we spoke about earlier. So this is a ridiculous situation, and the optics are not good. Not good. Not good. The real writing on the wall is the Raiders don't have a starting quarterback right now. And they're worried. And there's some issues, whether it be scar or tissue issues or deep ball issues or health or availability issues or mental issues. Something's going on. And then why would McDaniels say they're just pre-planned days off? We're working him into the system, knowing he has to win now. He has to build a winner now. There's a lot of pressure on Josh McDaniels, unless he's purposely tanking the season and he doesn't care whether Jimmy Garoppolo gets all the reps with the players like Devontae Adams. I don't care. All I care about is his availability and his legs and winning, during the season. I don't care right now. There's a lot of questions you got to ask yourself, guys, with this type of stuff. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me bring back my thoughts. Let's watch a little bit more of this amazing video. And then I'm going to get into some conspiracy theories that if you follow my channel, a lot of them have came true. This may be another one.
I know Jimmy Garoppolo had surgery. I know he's still being eased back. But the first game against the Broncos is 40 days away. So you tell me, are you confident that this guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, can finish a 3-hour football game in 40 days when he is struggling to even finish practice today? I think this is something that you have to worry about. And you know what? I want one of these reporters to actually ask Josh McDaniels a question that matters, and a question that would matter is to ask him straight up, when is the next predetermined day off for Jimmy Garoppolo? When is the next one? Because we don't know when these days off are, and it seems like it just spontaneously happens. Whenever Jimmy G misses practice, whenever he has to leave early, oh, well, this is a predetermined day off, so don't worry about it. And it kind of just feels like they're using this whole predetermined thing to cover their ass because the first game, like I said, is in 40 days, and the starting quarterback that you signed this year to be your number one QB to throw to Devontae Adams is not available to finish all of practice. And I just think that is cause for concern. I hope Aiden O'Connell does well. He got the brunt of the first team snaps under center after Jimmy G's exit, according to ESPN. And Brian Hoyer, the veteran, the guy who's going to be 39 years old next year, the longtime backup, closed out practice too while Jimmy Garoppolo got his rest and had to leave practice a little early. And look, dude, it's getting to the point where Brian Hoyer, I think this guy's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders this year. I mean, would that be that surprising with Jimmy Garoppolo's health problems? So I'm going to go ahead and try to buy a Brian Hoyer jersey right now. And so I'm on NFLshop.com trying to find a Brian Hoyer Raiders jersey, and apparently there are none available right now. So if Jimmy G's not ready to go in 40 days from now, they're going to have to pump these jerseys out real quick. You know, we have these stories about certain plays that are made, which I mentioned to you earlier, that happened during training camp. But really, the biggest story, unfortunately, is Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm kind of tired of this. I kind of want to talk about something else other than quarterback. But it continues to be something that lingers in the background. And there continues to be more stories, more situations where he's missing reps. And look, it would be one thing if this was Jimmy G's, second year with McDaniels and the Raiders. But Josh McDaniels admitted recently in my most recent video, you could check this out in an interview with Sports Illustrated, that the scheme fit between Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh McDaniels is a bit overblown and that it was long ago and he only started 2 games with McDaniels and it was only for a little bit of time.
Again, the excuses are starting from McDaniels like they were last year with Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and everybody else. Oh, we're working them into the system. I don't expect much. And then remember, even Dave Ziegler said we don't expect to win early and often. And then Mark Davis made excuses for them and said, oh, they're learning on the job and this and that. And now McDaniels, when people are talking about Jimmy G to McDaniels in the press, Josh McDaniels is saying, yeah, you formerly had Jimmy G as your quarterback coach. And then McDaniels will say, but he only played in 2 games. He only started 2 games. And the hype that Jimmy Garoppolo knows my system is a bit overblown because it was 6 years ago. It's a long time ago. My system has changed and it's different. Okay, well, that's all good and fair and understandable. But all these excuses are starting again for McDaniels as they did last year. Go back and watch Wi-Fi Willie's videos and my videos at the beginning of last year. Then during the season with Derek Carr in the press conferences, excuses about this, about that, about players, about this, about that. The excuses have started, and the excuses are for Jimmy Garoppolo. How he might struggle. He needs planned days off. What are they getting at? Remember, maybe about a month and a half ago, Dave Ziegler or Josh McDaniels in one of the videos or the press conferences, it was on Wi-Fi Willie's channel, or the reporter said, he said, we don't even have a quarterback on our roster right now, day one. And that was meant to bring up competition for the quarterback position. This might have been right before the draft, after they signed Jimmy Garoppolo and they knew he had an injury. But long story short, there was an article or something, a statement made where he said, we don't even have a day one starting quarterback on our roster right now. And this was after they signed Jimmy Garoppolo. So what are they selling us? Okay, guys? Last year, we at least knew we had a starting caliber quarterback in Derek Carr, whether it panned out or not. This year, we have to question everything. Everybody's like, Jimmy G's our starter. He's the best. He's our guy. Well, all of a sudden, he's got planned days off. He's on a pitch count. The coaches are talking and giving excuses that he may not know the playbook. It was a long time ago. It's overhyped. What the fuck is going on? My goodness. That is the dysfunction that is in front of people's eyes that they're not seeing. And they're not putting into their mind that we are being sold crap right now in our faces. They don't even know what they're doing and they don't know what's going on. It's a day-to-day thing. That's not the way to coach a team. All right, let's finish this video and then I got to get into that theory and I got to take your guys' comments, man. I'm getting fired up here, y'all.
So Garoppolo desperately needs to get familiar with Josh McDaniels' system. He desperately needs to get more reps with his starting wide receivers because the game is right around the corner and you have every other team having their quarterback outside of Brock Purdy, who's also had some injury issues. You have almost every other quarterback in the NFL able to play all of practice and get their reps with their wide receiver. I'm going to try to be positive, but there's just certain things that I just cannot ignore. Like if Jimmy Garoppolo leaves practice, I am going to bring it up. I mean, how could you not bring that up? But hopefully, because McDaniel spoke to the media before practice, we didn't get reporters asking him questions. So hopefully, a reporter, next time they get the chance to speak to McDaniels, will ask him, when is Jimmy Garoppolo's next predetermined day off? When is it? And that way we can know if Jimmy Garoppolo is just waking up in the morning and not feeling great. And then they say, oh, today is a predetermined day off. Or is it an actual predetermined day off from the doctors that was scheduled a long time ago? Honestly, I don't buy it. And that's perfectly fine for me to not buy it. And that's perfectly fine for the Raiders to not be 100% straight up about Jimmy Garoppolo's health because you don't need to. And you don't want to give your opponents a competitive advantage by being transparent about the health of your quarterback. And look, we know the Raiders have not been transparent about Jimmy Garoppolo. We know that they hid the fact that he failed his physical. They sort of denied it, and then they hid that fact. And we found out months later after March that he did in fact fail his physical. Then we found out he had surgery when they said they expected him to be healthy. We found out there was surgery that they did not tell us about until months later. And then we got the news that he passed his physical and he would be participating with no restrictions. And then we find out actually there are going to be some restrictions. He has predetermined days off. So it's been wishy-washy. It's not been straight up. It's not been transparent. And like I said, that's their right to not be transparent. But my main concern is how are the Raiders going to win football games? And when you have a quarterback who is not healthy, and what it looks like right now, to say the very least, is that Jimmy Garoppolo is not 100% at all, not even close. This is going to make it difficult to beat Sean Payton and the Broncos week 1. And then we get more mixed messages. In the Sports Illustrated interview that I covered yesterday, McDaniels is trying to let the reporter know that Garoppolo is practicing with the receivers. Even after practice, he's getting those reps in. But then today, he's on a pitch count with limited reps. So why would you get extra reps yesterday and then have reduced reps the next day if it's predetermined? It sounds like he woke up the next morning. To me, it sounds like he woke up the next morning and didn't feel great. But we'll lower the blood pressure and get a little less stressed out from here forward. Unless there's news, we're not going to ignore it. We're not going to deny it. So make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not yet for more Raiders content. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.
Guys, give it up to Wi-Fi Willie. I think he does a fantastic job. Good dude, does some good work, and I appreciate the content. And it gives me something to talk about. And I agree with almost everything you said. Again, why would you have a press conference the night before and talk to a reporter and tell them about Jimmy G? Hey, Jimmy G is staying after practice and working with the quarterbacks, even though almost every quarterback in the NFL does that after practice for like 20 more minutes or 30 more minutes. But he made it a quote that the reporter needed to know. Jimmy G is staying after practice and working with the receivers. And then the next morning, he's on a pitch count. Go home. So he got his reps in the night before, and it's okay. You don't need to be here today. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I wanted to look at a couple of comments real quickly from you amazing fans, and I wanted to retort on some of them. All eyes on G. I'm glad Wi-Fi made that a point. A lot of people expected Jimmy to know the system already right off the bat. No, I knew he was going to struggle. It's been 5 years. But, I mean, Wi-Fi really did say that, so we'll give him credit. Philos, 123 is going to be a dumpster fire. Oh, we've had too many of those, brother. And then talking about Gruden error, again, elite mad staffing. At least he's not yelling at me. Thank you for that. He said, "What do you think was happening during those Gruden 4-12 and 7-9 seasons? Those were excuses as well." Yes, yes, yes. So you are a McDaniels homer. That's okay. Got no problem with you. But everything's an excuse. I give excuses all the time. Why I don't go live, why I don't make taco videos. It's all good. But I'm transparent and I at least tell the truth behind my excuses. That I'm sick, that I'm ill, that I'm lazy, that I'm fat, that I'm unemployed. I tell the truth. You get excuses, then you get lies about those excuses with all regimes for the Raiders. 9 years of excuses. You can't handle 2 more? That's funny, James. That is hilarious. Hilarious. James Harry. I love Mikey, but I love Mikey, but he was on Gruden's butt pretty hard. He didn't like the rehire. Yeah, I don't. I don't like the rehire. I like what Gruden brought to the team at the end of his 3-year stay. I don't like the way he was fired. Still don't like Gruden as a rehire. But he did start to put together an improving team every year. And again, that's what we could hope for with McDaniels. I was excited to get Josh McDaniels. I was more excited than to get Gruden. Now, I hate McDaniels more than I hate Gruden. And that's saying something because that Super Bowl sabotage with Gruden and Callahan, man, I'll kill an MFer. Gruden, man, he an a-hole. The way all that went down, Gruden got revenge, bro. Gruden got revenge. Gruden created the purge as well. Now we got the McDaniels purge. It's a horror story. All of our coaches. Michael F. Always positive, barely negative. What's up? Why don't we wait for him to screw up before we throw him under the bus? Who is that? Jimmy G? He's already screwed up. He lied to the media about his injury and about the contract situation. But okay, Jimmy G has won everywhere he's played. All right. I love you, Michael. No worries. No worries. Folks like you and Wi-Fi are funny. Okay. Well, keep watching us. How about donate a couple super chat dollars because I made you laugh? What's up, Dionysus? Love you, brother. Sick with it. What do you got to say? It's all bad. It's another bullshit year. McDuffie know what he's doing. Brock Purdy is on a pitch count. Okay, sorry. Brock Purdy's on a pitch count. You don't effing say. Well, Brock Purdy is not being lied about, saying that he has no restrictions. Brock Purdy was not lied about by the coach where they said he has no restrictions. Then they take him off the field. Then they ask, why was he off the field? Oh, he had a pre-planned day off. Then, then he takes himself off the field. Then when he's asked, they're like, oh, he's on a pitch count. Brock Purdy's coach, and I guarantee you, he said in the media the first time he talked about him, Brock Purdy is going to be on the field, but he's limited. He's going to be on a pitch count. I guarantee you they said that about Brock Purdy. But they didn't say that about Jimmy Garoppolo. They're hiding the truth. They're not being transparent. And they're trying to get away with it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. How much of practice is he missing? Like half, 1/3? I don't know. All I know is there's basically 2.5, 3 weeks before the first preseason game. And we've only been in camp probably 10 days now. And he's basically missed 2. So 2 out of 10. So if there's another 10 days, that's 20 days in camp. Maybe he'll miss another 2. maybe 3. So that'll be 5 out of 20. That's 1/4. Interesting, interesting. Why are we watching this clown? This guy is always on a good one. Are you talking about me? I don't know. Why are you watching me then? I don't know. Maybe I should put you in timeout. Maybe I should do what a real good coach does and put you in timeout. Can I? I don't even think I can. Not from here. I don't know, but I love you. Stick with it. We're all good. Let's move on. Raider Critique still here. Anonymous Jedi, what a cool name. Any news on Tyree Wilson? Yes, I explained it earlier that he wasn't on the field from my recollection, but somebody corrected me and said apparently, according to the staff, he's day-to-day. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means he's on a pitch count like Jimmy Garoppolo, and when he shows up, he shows up. I don't know. What's up, James Furpo? So y'all would take Carr instead of any other quarterback we've had? In my opinion, Gannon I'd take. I'm tired of the Carr comparisons and stuff like that. I'm a Raiders homer. That's cool. Hey, man, proud. I'm a Raider. I don't know if I'm a Raider homer because I question everything and I get mad at everything. I'm a Raider fan, Raider lover. I don't know if I'm a homer. I don't drink the Kool-Aid all the time, but if I love the Raiders, that would make me a homer. So maybe I'm a Raider homer, Raider stan. I don't know. But what's up, man? You said just happened. McDaniel's coach just happens. Just happens. McDaniel's his coach is just. I cheered for Gruden, even though he was terrible the second time around. I think he was terrible, but he got better. He got better, man. He started to figure it out. Carr had his best years under Gruden. And that's saying something for a coach like Gruden who doesn't have a good actual track record with quarterbacks, meaning positivity-wise. Interesting. Terrell Pryor. Yeah, I had some videos of him back in the days that I put on the channel. Boy, you guys, dude, the comment section, you guys are lighting it up. I love you guys. You guys are talking. I appreciate that. I love that, whether it's against me or disappearing or whatever opinion, different opinions. Fantastic. You guys got this chat room on fire. Let's get us some super chats. Buy me some tacos. All right. But hey, that was my issue with the planned days off, man. I don't understand it. I don't take it as face value. He's definitely hindering an injury. He's definitely not 100%. And the coaches, are they sabotaging the season early by doing this? The preseason? I don't know. I just have all these questions. You may not think they're doing that. You may think, hey, it's for his health. It's simple. It's a pre-planned day off. Who cares? Whatever. He don't need the reps. You know, him and Devontae Adams, they're veterans. They can do it all. You know, he'll be ready for game one. That's fine. I'm just the type of person that sometimes I see the truth behind this stuff. Like sometimes in my real life, people will tell me something. They'll just tell me something out of the blue or ask me a question. And then when I walk away, I think about it and I go, this is something that's going to happen. Either later tonight or tomorrow, based off of the question they asked me or the statement they told me, this is going to happen. Because it's already being pre-planned and they know it. They're just not telling me about it. And I don't want to give you an example, but I can give you a hospital example or whatever. It's not the best example for like football oriented, but it's the only one that's on my mind right now. But my father went into the hospital and then they asked me questions. Oh, does your father always breathe out of his mouth? And I'm like, yeah. For like 20 years, he breathes out of his mouth. They're like, oh, that's not the right way he should breathe. You know, he needs to breathe out of his nose. I'm like, my father's like 85 years of age or 88, whatever it was. I go, he breathes out of his mouth all the time. And the nurses were like, well, that's not the way he's supposed to breathe. It's like, well, you can't change it now. He's alive and he breathes out of his mouth. Then I left the hospital that night. Then I told my brother, I go, why did they keep saying that that's not the way for my father to breathe? I go, something's going to happen to my father with his breathing or something. They're going to delve into it and try to fix his breathing at 88 years of age. What did they do? The next day, my dad has a tube down his throat. They cut him open and put a tube in there. And then they gave me the excuse that he wasn't breathing correctly and he was losing his breath. So they had to force a tube down his throat. And that led to him dying 3 months later. So, with quotes and things like planned days off and this and that, they seem all good. It's just to help him injury-wise. Well, it's going to hurt him in the long run. He's not going to have as much reps. He's not going to be as crisp and clean to start the season. And I'd rather him get soft tissue injuries out of the way now than later in the season. You know, build your muscles up to start the season as opposed to taking days off, not getting soft tissue issues or whatever. And then they start, once you finally start getting hit in the games. That's just my takeaway from it. But now let's get into my big conspiracy theory based off of this issue at training camp. All right, guys, hear me out. Please pay attention. Some of y'all like me, some of you don't, but please pay attention. Will McDaniels start Jimmy Garoppolo into the preseason? Will he do it? Last year, they didn't play any starters besides maybe some offensive linemen and Josh Jacobs. But they didn't play Derek Carr or Devontae Adams in the preseason, to my recollection. I don't think they did. But Derek Carr needed reps, needed to play in the game, and have gameplay under Josh McDaniels' system. So we all knew that Derek Carr should have played as a quarterback in one, if not two, of the preseason games to get repetition under McDaniels' system. But he didn't do it. He didn't allow Derek Carr to build up that poise under his system in last year's preseason games. Maybe that sabotaged Derek Carr moving forward. Those were so many reps he missed in actual games. People would say it's because he didn't want Derek Carr to get injured. Fine. Whatever your belief is, fine. But Derek Carr struggled in the system, as we all know, the entire year. Would those games have helped Derek Carr out to get on the same page to start the season with McDaniels? Maybe it would have helped a little bit more. But McDaniels decided to start Josh Jacobs in the Hall of Fame game, but not Devontae Adams and not Derek Carr, his prized players. Maybe for injury risk or whatever, but he did not play his star players. And we all know how that turned out at the quarterback position. And with Devontae Adams as well not being on the same page with anybody, coaches included. Will Josh McDaniels start Jimmy G in any preseason game? Jimmy G's getting pre-planned days off. He's on a pitch count. He according to McDaniels, doesn't know the system as well as people think he does because it was 6 years ago. Jimmy G needs reps. He's missing them in training camp. He needs to get on the field, get his legs under him, get some gameplay before the start of the season. Will McDaniels start Jimmy G? I'm asking you guys the question as well. I want to know. Would you start him in a preseason game or put him in there? Or would you do like McDaniels did last year and not have him play in any games and just start week 1? Like they did with Derek Carr last year. What would you do with Jimmy G having pre-planned days off on a pitch count and coming off an injury? What would you do as the coach? I just want to know. Start Jimmy G 1/2 of the first game, but I don't think that happens. Thank you, James. That's the history. So now we can compare when these preseason games starts. We can compare how Josh McDaniels coached Derek Carr in the preseason as to how he's going to coach Jimmy Garoppolo in the preseason. If he lets Jimmy Garoppolo play in any of the preseason games, it might prove that he was sabotaging Derek Carr last year a little bit. Again, think about what I'm saying. Doesn't mean it's true. It's speculation. It's a theory. But if Josh McDaniels lets Jimmy Garoppolo play, coming off injury, pitch counts, and all this other stuff, if he lets Jimmy Garoppolo play in any of these preseason games, and he didn't let Derek Carr do it last year as well, that is proof he's sabotaging, or he possibly sabotaged Derek Carr a little bit. Or he could be sabotaging Jimmy Garoppolo to get injured this preseason if he plays him a lot. Two different sides of the coaching fence. Again, you would hope Josh McDaniels would be the same coach this year like he was with last year with Derek Carr and Devontae. I'm not going to play any of my starters, regardless if they need reps or they're coming off an injury. I'm not going to play any of them till week 1. That's it. That's my coaching style, and I'm living to it. So now, if Josh McDaniels changes that, and he's allowing Jimmy G days off, pitch counts, and then if he doesn't play Jimmy G in the preseason, then his coaching style is the same as it was last year. And he's trying to avoid injury and whatever, and he believes his players will be good on week 1, not even having any preseason games. I want to let the other rookies and the other young players get time in my system. But these veterans like Carr and all that, I'm not going to play them because I believe in them, and they're going to play week 1. If he starts Jimmy Garoppolo or plays Jimmy Garoppolo in any of these preseason games, it proves he's a wish-washy coach, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's doing it from day to day, and he's going by the seat of his pants, and he's letting the media and the fans and everybody change his coaching style, affect his coaching style, so on and so forth. That's my opinion. So whichever way this plays out, in an indirect way, it could prove tanking of Derek Carr or sabotaging of last season, or it could prove no faith, no trust, and him being a coach that's scared with his players going into this season. So, again, I asked the question, will not from your answer, will Josh McDaniels play Jimmy G in any preseason game? I'm going to give you my answer right now, and then I'm going to go to your guys' chat. We're going to talk for a little bit, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then we're going to get on out of here. Will Josh McDaniels start Jimmy G in the preseason or play him in any game? Yes, he will. All the rhetoric that I'm talking, everybody else is talking, he's gonna prove he's a wish-washy coach. He's not going to stand by his word, and he's going to throw him into the fire like he did Josh Jacobs. And he's going to do that with a lot of players. But will he play Devontae Adams? Yes, he will as well. So that'll just prove that he coached last year's team differently or worse than this year by being a wish-washy coach. Again, it just proves he's flaky, doesn't know what he's doing, and it's ridiculous. If you're going to hold Derek Carr and Devontae Adams out last year, and they weren't coming off an injury, you got to hold out Jimmy G, regardless of his injury and needing of reps as well in this preseason. You got to. So we'll see what happens. That's right. Let's see O'Connell. And again, you brought up a good point, Critique. Regardless of the Jimmy G situation, Brian Hoyer should play the first half of most of the games. That's just my opinion. Brian Hoyer should play the first half of most of the games. Will he put Brian Hoyer into the fire like that? Probably not. Let's be honest. He trusts Brian Hoyer more than he does Aiden O'Connell. So I'm going to be honest with you. Brian Hoyer will play some games as well. But if anybody starts the game and it's not Jimmy Garoppolo, it'll probably be Aiden O'Connell in week 1. Like Brian Hoyer for one series, and then Aiden O'Connell for the rest of the first half, and then a combination of Chase Garbers in the second half. We can debate that in the next couple weeks. But I want to see more of Aiden O'Connell than I do of Brian Hoyer. But I have the feeling that Josh McDaniels in his coaching style, he's going to show us more of Brian Hoyer than Aiden O'Connell in this preseason. I just have that feeling. I have that feeling that he's going to show us more Brian Hoyer than Aiden O'Connell this preseason. That just means he believes in Brian Hoyer as the backup better than Aiden O'Connell. So then Aiden O'Connell will be the third quarterback into the season. And I haven't heard too much great news about Aiden O'Connell in training camp, to be honest with you. So you would think that they would, if Jimmy Garoppolo does have an issue with injury or this or that, or getting on the field, or they're trying to tank or sabotage the season, you would think the media right now would start talking up Aiden O'Connell a lot. But maybe they're going to wait till the first preseason game. And I don't know. It's going to be an interesting preseason, man. Hey, stick around to this channel, and I'll watch a couple of games with you guys live on my iPad or whatever, and we could have a good day. Nah, no starters, but Jacobs played. You're right. Derek Carr got sabotaged. They did. But he sabotaged himself. Derek Carr, for his own part, he admitted he got so mad at McDaniels and the way everything was going. Like I said, they broke him. And Derek Carr did give up. And Derek Carr should not be that type of person. But McDaniels and whatever they did to him, they broke him, bro. He gave up. He quit a little bit. He didn't want to put up with it anymore. He sort of zoned out or checked out. Not 100%, but he zoned out. And he even admitted it. So you got to give Derek Carr that credit. Brad Laps, man, thank you for the donation. I'll get you a beer, bro. Keep the shows coming. I definitely do love those shows more than most Raiders. Thank you, Brad Laps. Love the beard, brother. Got that Raider beard. That Raider beard that'll fall to the ground. Got that Raider beard. I ain't got nothing but a Raider beard. Representing the Raiders till the end of the year. And the end of the millennium. I don't know. We got that Raider beard. Jimmy gets hurt in preseason and his contract goes bye-bye. Uh I heard that report. Again, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I heard the minute he steps on the field that his money is like guaranteed or most of it or whatever the minute he steps on the field. And a preseason game would be on the field, technically. And so if he stepped on the field in preseason game and that money, if that report is correct, that I think I remember, and his money's guaranteed, then in week 2, if he gets injured, wouldn't that money still be guaranteed? But again, I do remember the report about if he gets any injury, that they can recollect the money and the contract goes away. But is that an injury during training camp? Is that an injury only in the preseason? Or is that an injury during the season when he's playing that the money goes away? You get it? I don't know. I got to look up that contract situation a little bit later. What'd you write? I don't know if that's a good idea, Mikey. What are you referring to, critique? James Harry, how do you throw for 4,500 yards and sabotaged? Sabotage meaning they didn't give him a playbook and they didn't ingratiate him to the playbook and really make Derek Carr part of the team where he limited him. Derek Carr had to go rogue and do some other things just to make plays, so that is a way of sabotage, James. That dude really still needs to heal. Yep. 1 series for 2 preseason games. Derek Carr wasn't sabotaged. You don't throw for over 4K yards if you are sabotaged. Derek Carr does what he has always done. Start off hot and tighten up in the second half. He has done it his whole career. Look, I ain't mad at that statement. Derek Carr still is the best come-from-behind quarterback in the fourth quarter out of the last quarterbacks of the past 10 years or whatever it's been. So there's that. But I could see your point. I hope someone is pressuring McDaniels to start him a couple of series. I hope so too, bro. Sorry, guys. I got so many comments from trying to read it. What's up, Cool Kev? He's online. He checked out the Giants game 2 years ago. Opinions, but okay. Again, we got a lot of Derek Carr haters on here. It's all good. It's all good. We got a lot of Mikey Raider haters on here. It's all good. Hate, man. Fan how you fan. Fan how you fan, brother. But please have a little empathy and respect for the human being behind the bad football play or behind the bad commentary or the bad videos or critique like I do. Please have some empathy. We're actually good human beings, Joe, at the end of the day. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to burn out a little bit. What about the comeback kid? That's right. Sabotage means with an 8-point lead with 3 minutes to go and you don't run Jacobs one time to kill the clock. Yeah. 3 yards from the end zone as well. We have a lead of 14 points. Throwing the ball with Derek Carr in the first half. We have a 14-point lead with Derek Carr throwing 2 touchdowns already or 3 touchdowns. Then we come out in the second half and all we do is run. And then the lead dwindles and run. And Derek Carr doesn't get the ball to pass. Then Derek Carr is told to pass the ball on 3rd and 18 4 times. then he throws an interception or something like that, and then they blame Derek Carr. Oh, he lost that game because of Derek Carr. Threw that interception on 3rd and 18. The game plan changed. McDaniels was throwing bombs with Derek Carr early and often. But we got to always blame Derek Carr because he softens up at the second half, as elite media staffing just told us. That's Derek Carr's MO. That's it. That's all that can be said. Everybody's to blame, bro. Derek Carr shutting down in second halves. Josh McDaniels shutting down in second halves. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Patrick Graham was in on the tanking. Oh, yeah, he was. Oh, yeah, he was. In a couple of games. Oh, yeah, he was. With the play calls. Oh, God, you're getting me mad. I don't want to talk about it. So you're saying McDaniels is the Grim Reaper? No, he's not. But I feel that way sometimes. Cool, Kev. I do. I do, brother. I do. I do. I'm sorry, brother. He killed my spirits. He crushed Derek Carr. Grim Reaper. No doubt. No doubt. That's how I feel. Hey, I got to ask every true Raider fan here. Would I be totally wrong if I quietly in my closet root for the Saints? Oh, you brought up a question. They're going to crush you. They're going to crush you, bro. How dare you bring up the name Derek Carr or the Saints? How dare you? You're done. Raider Nation, they revoking your Raider card. You're being canceled right now. They're putting the staples in your gravestone made of plastic. How dare you, Brad Lepsch? How dare you even mention the word Saints and possibly rooting for another team? You're dead. Oh, my gosh. You're gone, bro. Brad Lepsch. Let's give him a Raider Nation salute, Raider in peace. You're done. We love you, Brad, but you're done. You're still rooting on Derek Carr and with the Saints. You're gone, bro. You're enemy number one. Look, I will never root for another team. I will never root for another team. I will root for a former Raider to have a better outcome with said team when they don't play us. But I'm not rooting on the team. I'm rooting on the player and his future and his life with said team. And that brings me to something that I posted on the Twitter the other day. Let me see if I can get that logged up. Let's see if I can get that logged up. One of our Raider video makers that claims to be a purebred 1000% Raider fan was caught in 4K a couple of years back, and the receipts just came online. So let me see if I can get that on stream. Let me take off all these banners that I got going. Sorry about all these commercials or what's going on. How do I click on my Twitter and see? This is something weird too that I found the other day on Facebook. If you, on the Facebook browser, if you write the word chicken soup, if you write this word chicken soup, this damn warning comes up for writing the word chicken soup. A child SA warning for writing the word chicken soup. That's insane. Is it like the word pizza for the PEDO world? But that's insane. How is the word chicken soup on a Facebook browser associated with this? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy stuff. So here it is. So Wi-Fi Willie, you guys saw his video a little while ago. I like the guy. Him and Mitchell Renge, the guy from Chat Sports. I don't like Mitchell Renge. I don't like what he's about. I don't like what he does. I have receipts on him too for many things that he's did. But him and Wi-Fi Willie this past year, they've been going back and forth about who's a real Raiders fan, about who has more subscribers, who's buying bots or this or that. They're having like a Raider Nation feud behind the scenes. Okay. Mitchell Renz drinks money, takes money from Raider fans, and makes a lot of money. I think he makes over $10,000 a month, is the rumor, making Raider videos. Wi-Fi Willie makes around 3 or 4, 5,000 a month making Raider videos, which is great. Kudos to them. And at my channel's best, like in 2017, when I had about 50,000 subscribers on the other channels or whatever, for 3 months, I made between $3,000 and $6,000 every month for 3 months. So like 1 month I might have made like $4,000 on YouTube. The next month I made like $5,000, and then the next month I made like $6,000 or something for a good 3 month stretch, right? But right after all that money I was making on videos, right after that, my channel got hit. They came after me, the lawsuits, the this, the that, the NFL, the Raiders. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, Mitchell Renz and Chat Sports was starting their channel at that time, and they had a hand in taking me down. Or they reported me, or they did all this with their connections. So they stopped my ability of making money. But it's not all on Mitchell Renz and Chat Sports. It's not. Because it was the actual NFL and Raiders. But Wi-Fi Willie and Mitchell Renz have been getting into this back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Mitchell Renz has been threatening Wi-Fi Willie that he's going to go after him like he did me, and this and that, and blah, 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 and whatever. But they're both making money, so kudos to them both, and I'm not going to get into that. But Wi-Fi Willie made a post where he said, this dude keeps calling me a fake Raiders fan, meaning Mitchell Renz, in all his videos. They talk crap about me as well. This dude keeps calling me a fake Raider fan, which is weird because he's a Jets fan. And I've heard these rumors forever that he's a fake, like not really a Raider fan. I heard he's a Cowboys fan. I heard he's a Jets fan and all this. And I didn't know whether it was true or not. But Willie came out with the receipt, and he has a screen post from a couple of years ago. I guess that's 2017 when he was writing, right at the time when I was on my channel and he was trying to gain subscribers, and he was copywriting me, and he started to do his channel and his show in 2017. That's when all of this started. Wi-Fi Willie got a screenshot of Mitchell Renz from his Twitter of the Raiders Report saying, in response to whatever Mike Riggs said, he said, I've said numerous times, I don't have a favorite team. You don't have a favorite team, Mitchell Renz, who runs the Raiders Report from Chat Sports, and you get money off a Raiders fan? You don't have a favorite team, but you named your channel Raiders Report? Not NFL Report, Football Report, Pro Football Report. No, you named it after a specific team, which means you targeted a huge fan base that you could milk money off of. But you've said numerous times you don't have a favorite team because it creates bias. I don't want to create bias on a Raiders channel. But if I had to cheer for a team, okay, Mitchell Renz, if you had to cheer for a team, who would it be? It would be the Jets. Wait a second. You're on a Raider channel, making Raider videos, showing fandom for a Raiders team, positivity for a Raiders team, asking for donations, super chats, and for the Raider fans to pay you to talk about the Raiders, to drink beer from Raider fans, but you don't want to cheer for the Raiders or one team because it creates bias. And if you had to cheer, it would be for the Jets, not the Raiders. So maybe you weren't born a Raider fan, Maybe you are now since you started doing the show. I don't know. What the two things could be true at the same time. And I'm not going to fault you for not starting out a Raider fan, but I will fault you for starting a Raiders channel to get money off of Raider fans while not being a Raider fan. That's disgusting. But it's business. It's good business. You came after Raider video makers. You told all of us you were fans of the Raiders. You had a new channel. You asked me to promote you in videos, post some of your stuff, put you in tweets to get your channel name to Raider fans, because I already had the established Raider market at that point in time. So you befriended me as a Raider fan, a Raider video maker, and you wanted me to promote and do all that good stuff for you, for a non-Raiders fan. I got you. I got receipts as well that you wanted to create a fake controversy online, a fake fight with me. And you said drama is good for business. You wanted me and you to fight publicly on videos and then have both of our fan bases, which is supposedly the Raider fan bases, fighting each other. Your fans would yell at me and make fun of me and expose me and whatever for the fight and say I'm wrong. And then my fans would contact you and they'd subscribe to your channel and then they'd call you out. But it doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. If it's a fake fight or a real fight, you wanted us to fight publicly. Why? Because some of your subscribers would become my subscribers. Some of my subscribers would become your subscribers. Also, if you made yourself look better in the fight, whatever it might have been, I would have lost subscribers and they would have went to you. The same might be said that you would have lost subscribers and they went to me. But you're better at the media thing than I am. So I probably would have lost in that scenario. But I do got the receipts of how you wanted to fake a fight because drama is good for views and money and business for a supposed Raider fan. Kudos, Mitchell Wrench. Kudos, brother. These are the type of evil people, whether it's just business, Mikey Raider. That's why he's got the franchise tag, Mikey Raider. It's just business. That's why they got rid of Derek Carr. It's business. All right. Well, if you guys want fake Raider fans making or taking money from your family's mouths to drink beer to support the Raiders, who he's not even truly a fan of, in an evil way for business, kudos to you. Congratulations. I love you. I love you. Mitchell Wrench, you were caught in 4K. And if I wanted to create drama even further, I would post the receipts of you creating a fake fight. But I don't need to. I'm a better human than that. I know it would be good business for me, but I don't like the drama. And I don't want no more fighting. I'm too insecure for it. Too insecure. But at the end of the day, whatever you are, Mitchell Wrench, a real Raider fan, of this Raider fan, of that Raider fan, I don't want to be around you. I don't like your company. It's not good company. And the company you keep, I don't like. I don't appreciate you. And I think you're using Raider fans. And that's my take. But in terms of a businessman, if you are making over 10K a month from the channel, man, you're doing something brilliant. Congratulations. And by being an asshole and a liar, you deserve everything you get. You're making way more money than I am. So you're doing something right. Business is cutthroat. And you cut throats to get into this business. And now you're making possibly 10 G's a month. Kudos, brother, while taking down the competition. That being said, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And I'll come to you guys with some more videos in the future. I got a little bit of a busy schedule coming ahead. I got some personal stuff with my brother going on for his birthday while he's in rehab. I got some acting things I got to focus on, some events for my career. Also, I'm working on a little certain something with my health. And I'm working on a podcast for my other channel. I'm working on a Mondays with Mikey and Murph episode coming up. Hopefully, we can get that to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in to today's 3-hour podcast. I love you guys. So, Critique and Mikey need to make a super team. Oh, my goodness, I'm burping. I love Critique. I'm just not always available to get online. And it's just hard to put in the work sometimes for me. I got so much other going on. Plus, I need to lie down a lot and rest my body. And it's a lot, man. But I'm trying my best. Keep tuned into this channel. We're going to have some games, watching live, maybe the preseason games, some post-game reviews, and a little bit more better content, a little bit more consistent. And consider becoming a member. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. And thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. I love you guys. God bless you. Good night. It's 11 o'clock. I got to eat some food. Maybe I'm going to have some soup water. What is soup water? Or spaghetti water? I'm going to have some spaghetti water. What's spaghetti water? It's top ramen. I saw that in an episode of Reservation Dogs. That's a great show. Reservation Dogs on FX. But spaghetti water. All right, for now, man, what am I looking forward to in training camp in the next couple of days? Man, I want to see we got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, I believe that is. Who is it? Is it the Jets and the Dolphins? The Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Then I think August 10th is the first Raiders preseason game against, who are they playing? Is it the Texans? Is it the Cowboys? No, they got the Rams in week 2. People want me to go to that game. But I'm going to watch the Hall of Fame game. And there were some Raider Hall of Fame snubs that you can find out about on Murph's show. He did an excellent show earlier. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some good stories and less days off by Jimmy Garoppolo in the coming days. I don't want to hear about any more planned days off. I don't want to hear about that. Get him on the field always and often. And if you need to take him off the field to rest his leg, let him stay on the field. But don't take him out of the facility or let him go home on a pre-planned day off. The optics of that are ridiculous. Josh McDaniels, you got to start figuring your shit out. Sign that linebacker, Jalen Smith. Please, it's necessary. And I need to hear some good stories about running backs like Xavier White coming up. I need to hear something different. I need to hear it for some positivity. That being said, I'll leave the predictions for a couple weeks from now. But again, this is still going to be a mediocre Raider season. Don't expect playoffs. All we can hope for is upgrades and improvement in all areas. And if we get that, we're on the right trajectory. But this is not a Super Bowl season or a playoff season, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, thank you, football gods, or thank you, NFL script writers, or thank you, Josh McDaniels, for finally proving whatever you are trying to prove. But I'm going to try to have a good football season either way. And I don't want to go on the emotional roller coaster too much this year. So I'm going to take a seat back while watching these games and not expect any victories. But if we have the game within 3 points or we're ahead by 3 to 5 points in the final 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to be another heart attack game for me. It's going to be another heart attack game for me. And I don't like those. They tear my lifeblood away, my Raider blood away, especially when we lose and my health. Ugh. I love you guys. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. For Al's Ghost, Michael F., Raider Critique, Dionysius, Cool Kev, Brad Lapsh, Frankie Masquado, I pronounce it wrong. Miguel, Mahado, Raider Critique, what was the other guy's name? The James Furpo, All Eyes on G, Dominique, the staffing guy, Elite Staffing Corporation. Thank you guys for chiming in, giving me your opinions and everything. What did you write? Mitchell Renz is a dry snitch. Super Bowl's in Vegas. I know. We're going to be watching from the stands and the Raider players. Sorry to say that. Yeah, he needs to be there. Good night, Raider Nation. And what did you say, Cool Kev, about my dinner? Beefaroni. Beefaroni. I like beefaroni. I actually mix it with ravioli from Chef Boyardee. Every time I do buy it, I buy a can of Chef Boyardee ravioli and I buy a can of Chef Boyardee beefaroni. And I mix them both. So I have beefaroni and Chef ravioli. That would be a good, decent canned meal. All right, guys. Love you all. Good night. Thank you for chiming in. And I'll see you when I see you, man. Thank you for being in my life. Appreciate y'all. Mikey Raider is done yelling. Mikey Raider is done ranting for now. I'll see you soon.